We're rolling. We're hot. We're doing the thing. It is the Fate AP. It is definitely 100% ending this week.
So we're all standing before the Grail?
Wink.
Don't you wink at me.
I swear to God, Robin, if you make this go another week, I will find a way.
We will actually mob kill you.
How could I do that?
So Emiya comes back from the dead and shoots Devram.
There's only one gunslinger in this singularity.
No, I'm kidding. That doesn't happen.
Anyway.
Only 2 guns are allowed, and they're both of mine.
But okay, we're here. Patrons do stuff. Yay. We are recapping.
Probably in the description.
So, and there will definitely credits at the end, because I do that. Dallas, you have something?
Not to interrupt, but Mash's stats are in the library, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, good.
Oh, I did dig that up, so I should remind everybody, with converting Father Tomas's plot points, the Doom Pool currently stands at 7 D6s, 1 D8, 1 D12.
That's some tension.
So I have a decent pool, but I can do stuff. But unless the 12 or the 8 actually does anything, I don't think I can stop most of your rolls. It does mean I'm probably got a decent probability on rolling a 12 or whatever. But, so my first point I wanted to say is that I'm kind of imagining why, because we basically had a break, you guys didn't immediately go do the thing. It was mostly dramatic timing or whatever, but it also kind of makes sense in the fiction for everybody to go on, and hopefully everybody remembered if they got any stress to step it down once from last time.
Most of us got hurt?
I didn't get any stress, but I didn't actually do any of the fighting directly.
So I think if you had any complications, they can probably go away now, et cetera, et cetera. But I think in story, the reason for the pause makes sense is because Chaldea has to basically repair Celeste's command spells and actually form the contract between her and Mash. And Da Vinci will outright inform you that to recover the Grail, you need Mash. Her, just like you can use her shield as a conduit to do summoning. It will allow Chaldea to basically contain and successfully extract the Grail from the singularity so it can close. Without any explosions or other stuff, and it can go in storage where nobody can use it as free magical energy. And honestly, there's probably some exposition in there that is important to your characters, but that you would know out of character about, Holy Grails not necessarily being literal. They're just a generic term for a big concentration of magical energy that can be used in a wish-like manner.
They just turn into that shape when we put them in storage.
Yeah, basically. Or they were already in that shape.
Because iconography.
Right. Also, sorry, I took a drink there. That's why I couldn't speak for a second.
It's the conceptual Holy Grail. It's not the literal
Yes.
Holy Grail.
It is a thing which functions as a wish-granting machine. It is not literally the cup of Jesus. Because this isn't Camelot. And it's also not the moon. So for some reason we call a moon computer the Holy Grail because it grants wishes too. I don't know.
Because iconography.
Well, yeah. Because branding. Despite the fact that I think at no point is the moon cell cup shaped. Anyway. Not gonna go too far down that tangent. So basically, Da Vinci has given you kind of the heads up of okay, don't poke any Holy Grails or anything. Wait for Mash to be up to speed. We can have her safely grab it, plug it in, extract it, the singularity should close, you'll be ray-shifted back out, unsummoned basically, or desummoned, back to Chaldea, everything will be fine, just sit tight for a second. The question is basically, I think to start with, because I'm going to preemptively apologize to Dallas, based on what decisions you do, Father Tomas may or may not actually do anything of consequence in the finale. I don't know, we'll have to see what happens to you guys.
Do our servants come with us back?
Yeah, they'll be recorded in Chaldea. I don't actually know how that would work, but I guess probably because of the way the record system works. It's a little unclear. It's funny, in the actual FGO storyline, we didn't actually really start discussing servants and summoning until, Lost Belt. I guess that's when 2 years in we realized, or 3 years in or whatever, we realized, shit, we actually need to explain these mechanics.
You don't own them, you summon phantasmal copies of them to fight for you for 5 minutes at a time.
Yes, theoretically they should be back with you at Chaldea when you leave, probably.
Yeah, without a ley line, all we have is the little MacGuffin box that lets us they can pop out to fight for a few minutes, but they can't just hang around yet.
Because Chaldea has shitloads of energy reserves, which will hopefully be supplemented by any Holy Grail (S) you acquire. They can just keep your servants alive. We did go through the whole exposition last time, but in character, Da Vinci can reiterate it. Since Father Tomas broke his contract, he's no longer properly summoned. When he runs out of magical energy, Well, that was
He'll just
weird.
die.
Audacity freaked out a little bit. Yeah, he'll run out of magical energy, and the world will kick him out. The natural order of things will just unsummon him.
But doesn't he not technically run out of magical energy?
When he runs out of magical energy because the singularity coming apart tears him to pieces.
Well, I know that part, but I just...
Yeah, there's probably... Again, I don't want to have the whole conversation in character, in depth, because that'll just take forever.
No,
but yes, there's probably some back and forth about, okay, so technically he's got magical energy replenishment. If he doesn't expend all of it, that would technically keep him alive, but also, like, I assume Robin says out of character. But Devram could say that in character, too. I don't know. Well, no, I don't think Devram knows.
No, Devram.
Devram's kind of
He's too busy thinking about other stuff.
He's kind of a gun bimbo. He's just guns on his brain. I don't understand this magic shit. I only understand shooting.
Murray would probably tell Celeste that no, probably the collapse of the singularity will do him in far longer than him running out magical energy if he doesn't do something stupid like try to attack us again. Which, no offense, he's a bastard. He probably will.
That's good. It was in my orders to remove him before he became a problem.
Good job
so
that
kind of brings us to the question: is right, like if you leave him alone and he leaves you alone, when this singularity is corrected, history should go back to the way it was. People who die in a way that is not a normal function of the world will be brought back to life, but people who would have died by circumstance will just have died in a horrible natural disaster. And I don't know, was Fuyuki on fire in some of those flashbacks? Maybe it was. I don't know. Some of these people might actually be dead already, or they might not. But if you fix it, everything should go back to a historically acceptable course of action. And because good. Father Tomas is not supposed to be here, he'll either be obliterated or just he'll be paradoxed out of existence and cast back to the Throne of Heroes, or he goes in the naughty box.
I mean, he's not the worst person in the Throne of Heroes.
No, but I'm sure that Elia has a naughty box for servants who try and fuck shit up when they get summoned.
The anti-hero box.
No one will be the worst person in the naughty box as long as Kiara exists.
Kiara defines the naughty box. She is a naughty box.
Yes.
Anyway,
Kiara gets her own special naughty box.
She made it herself.
You
put yourself in the timeout box? Yes. That's even creepier somehow. Summonable Kiara. Anyway, the point I was going to raise out of character for your characters in character was, basically, do you want to split the party? Because you would know, Devram knows for sure because of tracking spells, because at this time, Father Tomas hasn't, because we're still in the future past, whatever. Father Tomas has not directly done anything to get rid of it. You know he's out there somewhere. As we discussed last time, he's currently punching skeletons for bones. He's bone farming right now.
But is it half AP right now?
The drop rate is abysmal, so it'll take him a while.
He has no AP.
No, you guys are still in launch FGO. It's still full AP for Part 1 quests.
Oh, that's terrible.
At least, though, each skeleton drops, 20 bones.
Has he received the update that gives him free mats for completion?
No, you have not.
Okay, we're good.
And can
he
immediately
redo a free quest that he gets finished?
No. Okay, let's stop. Card, you were saying something?
Anyway.
What was your joke?
I was going to actually not joke, I was going to say that, we probably should, if it's just going to take him a while to, do his bone farming, if anything, we have a choke point, so we could just, set up defenses, and, if he decides to come back, and just wait for Mash to extract the Grail. No fuss. We get that thing out of here as fast as possible, and we let the world take care of his bastard ass.
I'm kind of on that team because
I trust more of you to hunt down Tomas. I'm gonna oversee the extraction of the Grail.
Devram says we should have Mash because she is necessary, and Celeste because she is the master to extract the Grail. Nobody else, I believe, needs to approach it at all.
That's what I meant. I just want to see actually what they do.
Alright, Mash, how do we begin extracting the Grail?
Well, yeah, basically she would be like, well, we need to find it. It's, according to Da Vinci, it's in there somewhere. And she points at the Greater Grail ball. It's where you're getting your Grail signal from. Because you've got Graildar. once we locate the actual cup-like Holy Grail, right? Da Vinci, hologram gives, 2 thumbs up. No, she gives just 1 thumbs up because she's always holding her staff.
Mm-hmm.
And the other hand is a cup.
It's how she controls. It's her universal remote.
But just Mash would be like, I'm supposed to just take that in contact with my shield and then, or lay my shield on the ground, place it on the thing. The summoning process will happen, but in reverse, and it'll go back to Chaldea.
I mean, if that's what's supposed to happen, then I say we just go for it. I want to check something first.
Yes.
I'm gonna see if I put my communication device. Okay, so this Grail is like a giant glowy orb thing, right?
Yes.
If I just stick my hand with a communication device in it, does it still get a signal?
Well, yeah. You guys aren't actually all the way up there, but yeah, the you can see the Greater Grail container is, solid.
Well, it's solid?
Yeah, it's a big orb thing. It's a big, rock.
Crap.
Technically, well, that would be a thing if you guys, walked in a big circle around it. If you did that, if you guys want to do that, you'd see that there's, a gap in it and there's more light spilling out. It's...
Oh, so it has... I don't have to blow it up.
Yes, there's an inside and an inside. You should be able to just get in, assuming that happens. This is technically where we left off last session was you guys were not quite up to the Grail, because nobody had actually been able to make a full break for it other than a little bit on foot. And so the question is just okay, we need Mash, but Mash needs to stay with Celeste to finish setting up the command spells and stuff. The question was, do you guys want to take some of you and just go out and find Father Tomas and boop his snoot? Or Marid has now suggested that you just basically set up a defensive line at the back, because he can only... he can kind of only get in through a couple of ways. Saber did blow a big hole in the mountain.
I mean, the only way
but there's still only one direction.
The only way out of the singularity is through the Grail, so I agree with Marid's plan of let's set up a choke point in case he chooses a phase, and just get the Grail out. If it's going to destroy him, I don't see any issue with that.
All right. So how do you want to go about setting up your defensive choke point?
Got the Amazons and Penf to set up a line.
That's a pretty good one. Anything else you guys want to add?
Devram will stay up on the cliff ledge, whatever that cliff thing is. He sits up there so he can watch both behind him at the Grail and watch the entrances.
It's a fair one.
I also wonder if Ku could set just a caster, just a detection field.
Yeah, he can do a casty rune.
Something like a little arm spell.
If he does that, I don't know how that works exactly, but he will detect there's magic all over the place.
No, I think he's going
for
it's a
person that goes to the perimeter.
Oh, person detection. Okay, got it.
Yeah, an alarm spell, basically. Hey, if a servant or a human or something crosses this line, yeah, he can do that pretty quick. Honestly, normally that would be a function of rolling versus the Doom Pool, but narratively, I don't care if you do that, so we can say that he does it and it'll work.
Can Devram start setting up a bounded field again?
That sort of bounded field?
That one.
Okay, you can? I'm gonna say those of the people in the crew who understand Magecraft, having experienced the first time, can realize that that's what you're doing, and may or may not have objections to that. Do you guys? How you guys feel about this?
Don't do that. Don't do that while I'm stabbed, please.
I will keep that in mind.
As you continue to do it.
It depends on what's the more pressing issue.
I mean, you can prep it without setting it off, but yes.
I'm definitely not setting it off right now.
Okay.
There's no reason to.
Okay, you do special effects and glowing lines and weird floaty circle stuff, but you don't actually trigger it. And
I am also going. While Mash is looking for the entrance, I am also going to prep a ritual.
Okay.
And this one, I don't have to tell anyone what it is because I've not used it before.
All right. Okay. The cleric.
You know I'm praying in Latin, and if any of you speak Old Latin, you can hear my prayer, but I don't think it'll mean anything to you.
It probably won't mean anything to me.
No.
No. The cleric prep spells.
Yes.
Reed and Sherlock, you have anything for this, or are you just ready to go do the thing?
No, I don't have anything to prep, but I've got a really stupid idea of how to draw his attention if he decides to come back. He tries to come back because at least from what I've seen last session, he is obsessed with heretics.
Correct.
I mean, I know someone who's on his shit list, and I wanted to suggest something, but I don't want to take it away from you.
No. Trust me. this is something that hopefully, well, technically only I'll be able to pull off because of my background, and secondly, it'll definitely piss Father Tomas off. It lays in your shot. But
you got a Monty Python this shit.
You could say that, yeah.
Oh boy.
As for Sherlock, I'm just going to tell him that if Father Tomas shows up again, I'm going to say it out loud. I'm going to burn a command spell and going to blast him with whatever sort of magic you've got.
He just kind of nods. Canonically established, Sherlock does shoot beams.
Mm-hmm. Of course, hasn't had to do that,
turn into lasers.
But yeah, Marit's just sort of standing in the middle of the of the cavern while everyone else is saying stuff up or expecting the ground. Okay, never was that good of an actor, but hell, when that alarm goes off, I know exactly what to say to there's attention on me.
All right, so
Pep's gonna have her chariot.
Yeah, Pep's got her chariot. Is she gonna just hang out in it?
Yeah, she's just gonna hang out with it because it's if anything, she's just gonna gore him when she sees him.
Okay, so the Amazons kind of. So what I'm picturing kind of is that near the stairwell and the gap basically that was created by that Excaliblast. There's a line of Amazons, just spears and shields. Penth kind of orbits around them in her dashy chariot thing because it was just hanging out. And Ku sets an alarm spell. Are you gonna keep? Because I noticed Aelius didn't say he was standing behind. I assume you're gonna keep Ku close to you.
Yes.
Okay. So Ku sticks with you, but he sets the rune spell. Devram has prepped his bounded field blade, activated it, and is himself set up with his rifle, I assume, kind of so he can point either direction, like some kind of gun guy.
Weird.
Mysteriolite after you.
Mash and Celeste are ready to do the thing. Celeste is praying first while we basically you regrow your command spells. It's a little freaky, since narratively or mechanically you didn't use any of them. Narratively, they just got messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Marie is ready. Sherlock is ready. So Sela and Hoshiguma are just, I don't know, chilling out, doing push-ups. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna help stand guard. There's not much we can do for helping to retrieve the Grail.
All right,
we'll stand guard along with the Amazons and such.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Okay, so basically, what Mash sees, or anyone very very close to me will see, is they see that it looks like I'm reaching into my pocket and I pull something out. What I actually did is reach into my chest cavity and pull something out. Because one of the elements to this ritual is a rib bone. Because gotta get that Bible of themology.
I think I actually know that right.
Symbolism.
I don't remember it well.
So you've already been bone farming yourself.
Oh yes, but mine regrow, so I cheat.
That's Omega's thoughts on the subject. Is just.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's everybody accounted for. So I think that's all the masters. Well, okay. Devram doesn't actually approach the Grail because he needs to be far away. He is not Jotaro. He needs to be far away to kick your ass.
Usually.
But minus Devram and Sela, so Marit's also kind of standing back. So it's just Aelius kind of trailing behind Celeste and Mash approaching the Grail?
Yeah. I want to see how they do this.
Devram calls out for him to turn back.
I would ask you to not, because I need someone to be there in case something goes wrong. I will not let anyone else other than Mash, including myself, touch the Grail.
Are you saying this to me or him?
I'm saying this out loud.
Yeah, I think Celeste is saying this in general. She doesn't plan on letting anybody else touch the Grail.
I'm not going to let anyone else touch the Grail, other than Mash. I just don't want... If something goes wrong, I don't want to just be alone. Because if Mash is taken out, we lose.
Right, and also Mash has to she has to put her shield down to actually form the ley line.
So if I left Okita with you, that would be sufficient.
Aelius isn't going to make a run for the Grail. He can be there.
Who's also here?
Plus, I'm more physically able than him, so I could tackle him.
I'm not going to try something with the church.
Don't
Say
worry.
that the guy who's tried something on multiple.
I can literally interpose him.
I will say this because we'll just add to that clusterfuck. Devram, you notice now that you said something. Caster Ku is now definitely kind of giving you the Ku side eye. It's like,
This guy's too distrustful of everyone.
It's like, this guy.
This is the end of a Western movie where we all don't trust each other, which gets us all shot.
Very accurate.
Meanwhile,
Hey,
Sela's
everyone's
just
getting shot,
again.
and
I'm
only
just
one of us
imagining
looking
Sela's
down.
just sitting back at the front. There's not that Kuai. Sela's just sitting at the front, like maybe sitting on Hoshi's shoulders, just singing a song or something, kicking her feet, just
How buzzed is she right now?
Sela has
Contact high?
zero. Sela has zero irons in the fire of this conflict right now.
She got to punch
Grail
2 heroic
standoff.
spirits. One of them died.
Yeah.
You proved your magecraft works really well.
Anyway, I will let Mash approach the Grail. I am very cautious about getting near it.
I just want to see what it looks like.
Okay.
If I can.
I think we've stalled long enough. How long has this recording been going on? 20
30
minutes?
minutes?
That's good. It's good for a dramatic build-up.
Oh boy.
So, as you guys both get all of you who get closer. But especially, I would say, as the Celeste and Mash team gets the closest, because you got to interface with the you're going to try and get into the Greater Grail, basically, and figure out what's going on, because Da Vinci's Graildar is just like, alright, it's over there. It looks like it's that thing. You get close, and you notice that there's a little depression, basically, this cliff thing forms almost like a bowl that the Greater Grail is sat in, as it were. And as you get towards the edge of that, you kind of look down in and notice that the space under the Greater Grail is filled with a dark black mud-like substance, just kind of sitting there menacingly.
That wouldn't be common knowledge, would it?
Probably not, no, especially because I don't think that literally didn't happen to this Grail.
That's bad.
Actually, wait, here's a question.
Well, I'm gonna roleplay my
Actually,
character.
this singularity wouldn't be pivotal to history because it's the alternate timeline for Yuki.
I'm gonna roleplay my character because this is what she would do.
Well,
I'm gonna go touch
that might
it.
be...
I'm gonna touch the mud.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious as to what it is.
What would it take to Aelius to stop you because that shit's bad? Or like that shit's
we
bad.
don't know that.
you-
That's
Well,
the
yeah,
problem.
you would have
I
to
mean,
have
more of
experience
like
with the
we know
Grail
it's
Mud
bad.
or with Tiamat's Chaos Tide, since we know these.
Also, I'm not
Eddie,
just- I'm not
Eddie,
just
like,
I mean, like,
giant
logically,
chemical
you
fluid.
can be like, don't touch that black goo, that's bad. Like, you can
But
call
the-
out to her, don't do that,
You
that's
don't
dumb.
touch a chemical fluid. You don't know what it is.
Okay, I poke it with a stick.
Yes. You poke it with a stick. There's a like an almost animal-like hissing sound, and the stick at the end you're touching bursts into flame, and it rapidly starts consuming the stick.
So if that stick is actually my mana, what happens? 'Cause
It
the only
starts
stick I have
burning
is
your
a black
mana.
key.
Like, it starts burning the black key. You probably want to let go of that.
I let go of that and go, well, that's not normal.
There's like a puff
That
of
just
black
burned
smoke as
magic.
it just
Okay,
eats.
that's
The goo
worse than
eats your
Quicksilver.
black key. Just
I don't-
Mash,
I don't know how far away
are you
Sela is,
okay?
but is she hearing this commotion? I don't know how far we are.
I don't yell out.
you probably
because
hear some like. Also, I will say this. Every human in this scene probably gets an ominous feeling all of a sudden, just because like
Oh,
this
no.
is bad. You feel like a cold presence, like just something not right. Suddenly, there's
So do
something
I
very not
actually
right in
feel
this
a
room.
person?
I got a bad feeling about this. There we go. Made the reference.
Is the Grail above all of this or floating in this? Just to
It's kind of
clarify.
in it, yeah.
How did we get to that?
Well, Devram's got his finger on his trigger now. Watching.
Yeah,
the-
no,
I don't think you can see it because we're in
Well,
the.
I will. I will
no, but
I-
Devram
I
can
will-
like hear it and
point.
feels the bad.
I
juju.
will radio on comms. Something isn't right here.
I think that sounds like
Yeah.
a perfect time. You hear a voice. It's a woman's voice, just out of the cave somewhere.
Oh, her.
Sing out, oh Black Grail. All of them, you guys hear the worst sound you have ever heard in your life. Just
Oh,
like
God,
a
it's
horrible,
like-
cacophonous,
no.
like
Oh,
I don't know it's mom and dad.
like somebody rung a bell in your ears, and that bell is also fire. Like all of the masters feel incredibly unpleasant hearing this.
I'm dropping off Hoshi's shoulder and running towards, I assume, the hole in the cave that we're on top of and looking down.
Yes. You start sprinting for the Greater Grail. Wait, no, I got a picture for this.
Oh Jesus Christ!
As a figure is just gonna
I
rise
feel like
up
only-
out of the goo, the
I feel
Grail
like
mud.
Celeste. I think only Celeste would know what this figure is, probably.
No, I have no
Uh,
fucking clue. This didn't happen in the last Grail War.
I more meant the history of the Grail.
I mean,
Oh, is it? What's her face?
I think it's Justice.
It is certainly Black Grail.
So does it have Justice's face?
Yes. It looks like that. It looks like
I
Black Grail.
I just immediately yelled at both of you, back up, back up, back up.
Yeah.
Everybody starts back. Everybody who's close starts backing up. Everybody who's far starts approaching.
I'm just like, literally, I'm just like, you're dead.
Devram is now in view.
How are you here? You're dead.
I am the Grail. By the way, your communicators all light up. Da Vinci shouts out, "She's not wrong. That's a servant, but she's got the Grail sign inside of her." And you guys can see kind of, you know how it is in FGO, the little light. Like, this entity definitely has, like, a light inside of her where her spirit core is, probably. So, like,
where that mark on her stomach is.
Usually it's more in the chesty region.
What is
it's in there somewhere.
Da Vinci? What does her spirit origin register as?
Da Vinci puts on her serious face, and she's like, "This class reading, it's an Avenger."
No, I mean her name.
Oh, well, you don't know that. I don't think they know that, but we can't figure that out. She does say that it's an Avenger, though. And the Black Grail person speaks and is just like, "I am," she says just to the effect of, "I am the Grail.
Why are you wearing...
humans have come here to take the Grail, but you cannot. History will not go so easily." She kind of laughs sinisterly, but I can't do a good... Unless I'm doing an oh-ho-ho laugh, I can't do a good evil villain lady laugh, but she just kind of like... her laughter, it's kind of high and sharp, like somebody smashing glass into your eardrums. So she kind of says, "It's funny. This is how things are supposed," she doesn't actually do air quotes, but Omega's putting air quotes on that, "be. A Grail filled with all the world's evil, spilling out, consuming the worlds. This is how history should be and will be again. It is time for all of you who should not be here to go away. Come, bathe in my black blessing." The Grail mud starts to, like, agita. Let's see.
Caster, carve the seal.
Bad touch, bad touch, bad touch, bad touch.
Alright. Okay. So you tell him to carve the seal, you're telling him to use,
Octonodon, yes.
Okay, you want him to go ahead and well, you're stepping up then. Okay. So you want him to use, Matrix Wodan, which is way easier to say than that other name. God.
What, the Wicker Man?
No, his other one.
Octonodon.
Yeah, he wants to go for the big boomus.
Let's just seal this away so maybe we don't drown in whatever that weird shit is.
No, that's probably a good move. It's probably a good move to try. Okay. Well, it's now an action scene. You're stepping up.
Okay.
So you should go ahead and build Ku's pool.
Alright, let's see here. So I'm targeting a magical asset. I think so.
Well, okay. Are you?
Am I targeting her?
That's not a magical asset, though. As
Okay.
it's the capital A.
Did she have a magical trait?
No. That's for, like, if she had an asset or a
okay.
thing or whatever, or maybe like magecraft. Technically, she does have some of those, but you haven't actually seen her use them. I don't know if you can target things you don't know that exist.
Can I inflict a true name seal type of...
Yes, you can try and seal her Noble Phantasm complication. That's okay. We can see if that works.
Alright, let me set this up. So, I think actually, it's been a while since I've made a pool, but yeah, so I think Ku's doing this in a pair, or actually,
Makes sense.
I guess he's doing it on his own, but if I'm doing a pair, I guess I can give him a die. So, okay, so first, he's using NP, so that's D10. He's using pair, so that's a D8. Druid. Rune Magic. And Octonodon. And then also a staff.
Yep.
So.
And I kind of, because we've never seen it used, what I kind of pictures is that Ku just reads out the names of all the runes, you know. Fehu, Uruz, Puriaz, Ansuz, Raido, Kalman, Geba, Wunjo, Halgaz, Naudis, Isaz, Jera, Aihuaz, Perv, Algis, Solio, Tiwaz, Berknan, Ewaz, Manaz, Laguz, Ingwaz, Opala, Daguz. That is actually all the runes I have a chart.
Cool.
So he just reads them out in sequence, and then, so you guys are in a cave, underground. There's a shitload of cloud cover over you. You've never seen the sky. But I'm just imagining a big old Odin bolt. It's like when he throws Gungnir in, Final Fantasy VII, the original. And just a big old Odin bolt just down from the sky to hit Avenger.
Could territory creation apply for this as well?
You are in your territory. I believe you had
I did set
capitalize those ley lines last time, yes. Oh, by the way, the scene distinctions for anybody who wants to use them is still something like, probably like, Holy Cavern, dark, and also a D8 all the world's evil. It's just a giant pile of grail mud there. It's almost like she's made of it or something. And if this goes very shittily, I have a way to make it do other stuff.
Okay, so this actually works out pretty well. Let's see here. So 2d6, 2d8, 2d10, and 2d12.
I mean, you told him to do it. Do you want to tell him to do it with a command spell for another d12? Like,
on this rate, honestly, that might help in my case.
Okay, you can go for it. It's fine. I got a couple different ways this one can go.
Yeah.
So.
I'm also probably gonna feed him a die. I'm also probably gonna feed him because I'm totally paired with him. I'm probably gonna feed him a die from, I guess, mythology and mythical history. So like what I actually know about runes, I guess, just to help.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I had this whole idea for what like saying a command spell would be, but right now I think I'll use probably a second one later.
Okay, so save it. That's okay. Nope, you hit roll.
Wrong one. Forgot.
Omega?
What's up?
Is the mud surrounding her, you said?
She kind of floated up out of it, yes.
Okay.
There's also growing dread.
I would say that, okay,
or at least
interesting.
the 12 is.
Basically, from what all of y'all can see, and from what Celeste experienced, the mud is basically a curse. Like, it's almost like a kind of magecraft itself. It's a curse effect. You could probably, honestly, Sela especially could probably do something so that she could resist it, and you guys can, because that's a thing that Rin does a couple times, is she uses a couple of her gems to boost her ability, and I think in the End of Fate, doesn't Shiro wade through it using Avalon? Like a boss?
Yeah, that's Avalon. Avalon is just, like, bullshit.
But yeah, so it's possible through protective elements to actually do that.
Because isn't that an Avalon mean he technically wasn't touching it because he was in a different reality at the time?
Yeah, technically, yeah. He was being
well, yeah, but if I remember rightly, at least from the anime, he, like, wades in, or Kirie douses him in it, and then he's like, oh, this sucks. I'm gonna trace Avalon real quick. I'm fine. So, it's not instant death, but you would not want to necessarily willy-nilly get in there. I would definitely probably use the scene distinction against you. Okay, so
in
Axe,
this case,
what total are you using?
If I'm using a D12 for this complication effect, can I? Does stuff not step up past the D12, right?
If complications step up, that is like that becomes basically a narrative impermanence. You would actually legit like seal up her noble phantasm.
Oh,
okay,
for the rest
then
of
I
the
can
scene
do.
I technically
if
can
you
do.
Try and get it that big. I mean, I'm
also
not going to say you can't do it, but I will say
there's
I will fight
opportunities
you.
for you there. Because 1 and 2, but or does the growing dread only apply to the dice I got from the NP itself?
I'm going to turn...
It applies to the entire dice pool.
Yeah, the growing dread applies to the whole roll, so that's two
yeah.
opportunities.
No, it doesn't. No, I've said that before. Growing dread is actually only supposed to apply to your NP dice.
Oh.
The NP dice is only a D12 and a D6, so...
Okay, so did you roll the 2 on either of those? No. All right.
No, so it only applies...
so I will turn my 7th D6 into a D8. Doesn't bother me.
Okay. I'm going to use...
And you get a plot point.
So I'm going to make it... So I'm going to use a plot point to take that extra 8 to make it 31 at a D12 plus 1 true name sealed designation, true name sealed complication.
Okay. All right, we'll see if it works. Okay, so let's build a pool for the one listed in my notes as just Black Grail. By the way, it says her true name is Justice von Einsberg? It's a question mark in there. It's too bad Father Tomas is not here, because she's chaotic evil. But I solved that problem. All right.
Okay, I see.
Polly.
Omega, I planned this.
Everything goes according to plan.
And now Devram
That's the
all
true
of us in
GM
Black
move. All things are according to plan. She's a lone wolf for a D10.
I wonder why. So weird.
She is all the world's evil at D8. We're going to use a man, or MP of A+, D12. These are her canonical stats, by the way. She actually has a math profile. It's not very helpful, so I had to bullshit a lot, but it's there. Let's see. What's the good ability to do this? I think her Heaven's Feel ability at C for another D8.
I'll say I rolled
the
really well for
the
this
soul.
pool, surprisingly.
We'll throw in another D8 for Dress of Heaven, her Mystic Code.
Wait, what the fuck? I didn't know.
X rolled better than anyone rolls on this pool except for Vespairr.
I resent that.
It's not wrong.
Didn't you actually only whiff it the one time you rolled real dice?
Yes.
No, I've whiffed multiple times against people.
True. Fair enough.
Yeah.
This is the sixth
You're
session.
gonna be a GM, yeah, that's not
I am still the king of whiff, though.
You're the king of whiff? Get out of here. That kind
I justify
using...
Robin, you roll high Omega rolls higher and then says, "Well, what if I counter?"
Nah, I'm just
I only
saying.
did that,
Last
like,
time,
once.
Father Tomas did everything.
No, I'm saying me as a character.
The best way not to whiff is not to roll.
I'm just saying, like, I'm only going super hard on this.
No, it's fair, and I'm just trying to think about what other stuff, because I think narrative. Like I said, I have multiple ways for this to go. Oh fuck! I forgot our class skills. Magic resistance. D also A, another D12. Okay, that's important.
Well, damn. Okay.
Because for some reason, Black Grail has none of the Avenger passives.
Nope. Why is it magic resistance if she's she can?
Because she is. I'm sure. I'm sure that all the world's evil is like, nah, you can't.
I guess it's more
curse me. You can't magic me.
I could think it would be like a different name, like mana consumption or something.
No, it's just she has magic resistance and also territory creation EX, which
probably.
Let's go ahead. I'll spend. I believe if I have to keep dice, I have to spend bigger, but I think I can spend just D6s to keep multiple skills. So we'll also add another D12 for territory creation. You are in her territory, or she is anyway, in her Grail Mud. And I think that's got to be it. That's got to be all I got, unless I want to...
Did you also take the scene distinction?
No, that would I'd have to spend another die to set that up. I used one of hers.
Ooh.
Distinctions are all the same trait. It's why scene distinctions are kind of bad, but are good for narrative stuff.
It's good if, like, your certain characters just don't have things that apply, because some can.
It's true. That. If you're a really good bullshitter, you can, but some characters are very... As I think Vespairr and some of the others have pointed out, sometimes characters are samey with their distinctions, but there's only so much
fighter characters just have a thing where it's like, if you're fighting someone, you just apply it.
No, do I want to... How many did you roll? You rolled a decent pool. Should I? Now I've got an uneven number of d6s, just to make it even. It's probably not going to help, but I will spend a d6 from the Doom pool to add it, just so I have 4 d6s. Let's roll. No, that's probably not going to be enough. Not even if I spend a shitload of dice.
I think you could tie it, but I think you use more dice than you have.
No, but you have a step up, yeah. I think that's not going to work. 8 plus 6 would be...
Can you
14? If I spent my D12, I could keep that 5 from that D10, or that 5 from that D12. Oh, no, wait, I've got 2 8s. I'm sorry, I'm dumb. So 2 8, 16. I can spend a D8 to keep another one. That would put me at 22, but you're beating me by 10, and you already have a stepped-up effect die. So there's really no point in spending additional resources. No, she'll just take it.
Sure.
Just the magic Odin bolt comes down from heaven and smites her, and just there's a, like, sizzling noise. You guys notice the top part of the Grail Mud, like, evaporate away, probably in a pretty decent circle around her, because it's an Ancient Fortress attack. It's big. It's a big boom.
Yeah, I designated it to do stress. It just does the complication.
Yes,
just, like,
but
like,
it's a pretty big pop, and
her.
just... Yeah, probably just, like, runes kind of, like, cover her body at weird points, and just, she kind of sizzles and sparks, and looks very annoyed directly at Aelius. You're going to regret that, boy. But Aelius gets to, coup, but so Axe gets to pick who goes next. Unless somebody wants to interrupt.
I need, like, 1 second to think of this. But I want Celeste to go.
Okay. Celeste, thou art nominated.
Well, Dick.
I've made it a little safer, maybe, hopefully.
Yes, she can't use her Noble Phantasm, and fluff-wise, like I said, the effect was big. It boiled away some of the black Grail Mud, and also probably chipped off some parts of the Grail. But basically, to summarize, because we took a lot of math there, Da Vinci has reported that this Avenger is the Grail. The Grail's in her. You probably want to boop her snoot until a Grail pops out.
I am absolutely terrified of this person.
As you should be. You guys did just see her... Not technically, it's because Axe did a different effect.
I don't think I can see right now.
Oh?
So, I've said before, I have mystic eyes that sense evil.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
I think my retinas are on fire.
How evil is it? Like, it is super... Actually,
she is an incarnation of all the world's evil. She is a big white light of evil.
How evil? Yes.
Like,
I mean, technically her distinction has a question mark on it, but yes.
I was like, what does my character see right now?
Is it blinding, or is it more of, like, just a figure shape?
Honestly, I expect it's probably kind of like what happens with, Rene's Mystic Eyes, where she gets, like, an allergic reaction. Like, your eyes are probably, like, burning and watering because, to your vision, this is just a big black light of evil.
Like, to me, what it seems like is, like, I basically sense, like, kind of, like, what it was in my head is, like, I sense, like, little flames where evil is. I can't really see her because there's in front of me is just an inferno. So as far as I'm concerned, she is just everywhere in front of me.
I assume for the sake of narrative, it might be that she's a person-shaped flame.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's what all the world's evil looks like.
That is what I am seeing, and I'm like, crap.
Give orders to Mash, I guess.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, that didn't come up, so it's used. You can just pass, we discussed that before.
I'm not going to pass, because I do have something I wanted to do. Crap. Hold on. Let me see what because I was gonna activate, I'm gonna activate my Magecraft, which is, type of reinforcement. It's basically like, you know how you have punchy reinforcement?
Yeah.
I have get punch reinforcement.
Like
All
infinite pain.
It's purely
threshold.
defensive.
You prep to tank.
I mean, I got both, but yeah.
But I just have the defensive one.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's how I built my character. I acted basically. You see, shimmering yellow armor appear on me. As this is literally just called Aegis of the Crusader, which means all damaging dice I take from an evil source, which I believe it is fair to assume
Correct,
this
yes.
person is stepped down.
Okay. It's a pretty good one. It's okay, you don't need to worry about those. She's very annoyed at Aelius right now.
And that is my turn, and I'm going to pass to Mash.
Okay. What do you want Mash to do?
I was planning on doing that, but yeah, because I'm playing 2 tank characters right now, so I'm not gonna be doing a lot of.
Someone should maybe just try to put their arm in Justice to rip the Grail out. Hopefully,
that is a bad idea. I have seen what happened to things that go in that mud.
You could try that, but yeah,
the mud
that
is
would be a
temporarily
little
gone right now. But
risky.
yes,
Well, she makes the mud, so you don't know if it's inside.
The mud's still here.
Fair.
The mud is still very much here.
yes,
Also, we don't know if she's not made out of it.
fair.
And I will warn you. Technically, yes, she can. Her noble phantasm is sealed, so I can tell you she's not going to use that anytime soon. That's literally for the rest of that scene. She can't use Song of Grail. Not that it would work, because that was, funnily enough, that's a noble phantasm that is recognized as a magecraft. But it's just a destructive resonance. It's a wish of destruction, so it blows people up real good.
So Mash is going to be creating a bearer asset.
Okay.
Basically, she's going to be creating an asset around all of the masters.
That's fair. She can do that.
Except for myself. Where basically
she could probably get you in it too.
Actually, no, she probably would. Her personality, as much as it tactically is not what I want, she would probably not leave me out. Mm-hmm. So yes, she's going to be using Valiant Wall of Snowflake.
Yeah,
I believe that's the skill, right?
Yeah, one of them.
Isn't it Shield of Resolution? Resolution is the
defense? Shield of Resolution is tank.
Yeah, that's her own ability.
There's
but
two she gets from Galahad. Basically, we can say who he is.
So she is going to borrow my one of my distinctions, because it feels very appropriate in this case, which is Defender of the Righteous. Because I mean, I could just use the ultimate shield, but yeah, she's going to be using her. Would she be able to use her endurance to create an asset, or would it more be her magic?
Endurance applies. Valiant Wall of Snowflake says it turns their mental determination into physical defense. So endurance is probably a good one for that.
Alright, so she'll be using endurance. I think self-defense field would apply here.
Yeah, I believe that's one of the other things the class. It's funny, MASH has both a personal skill and that's what self-defense field as a class skill does anyway. So yes, doubling up makes perfect sense. This is one of the things she's good at.
And then magic resistance, I think that also applies.
Yeah, just remember to spend a plot point to use multiple dice in the same zone.
Oh, the same zone as class skills?
Yeah, class skills are all the same trait type.
I think I'll only use one then.
Okay. You can use
I'll just use magic resistance.
That's much larger.
She's going to be using pair, because she's... Actually, no, this would more be team. So yeah, she's going to be using team.
Either way works. Thank goodness for MASH. Her Lone Wolf dice are awful.
You can technically give dice to MASH.
Well, if she can use either, then I'm just going to pair up with me, because...
Yeah.
I also have a 10 pair dice. So...
A lot of us have a D10 pair dice, it sounds like.
Interesting.
I mean, it just makes sense in Fate.
Yeah, because you expect to be working with your server.
Yeah, it works. There are a couple of characters who are really interestingly team built, or that I decided were going to be like that way. Like, Vanilla Saber is, she's got a D10 in team because she's fucking King Arthur, so.
I made
she works with the Knights all the time.
She's only good as a team.
So she has 4d12 right now.
Yeah, Mash is good at that.
4d12 and 1d6.
Is she about 4d12? 4d12?
Or, sorry, 3d12, 1d6, 1d10. I forgot what Valiant of Wall of Snowflakes does.
Yeah.
You can also, I think, simply in her team with her, you can give her some of your dice.
Yeah, if it's valid, you can share a trait with her. But
then I will share Aegis of the Crusader.
Probably a good one.
Which is a d8. Because I'm a master, so I don't have...
Mash, by the way, is made of d8s.
Yes, she is. I'm glad I have a couple of those.
Her physical form is d8s.
I've been rolling pretty average right now. Oh, there's a 1.
Okay.
Alright, so she is going to be creating a barrier asset at a strength of 19.
Well, what's your total? So 19 is your total? What's your effect
19
die?
is the total I'm using, with a D12 effect dice.
Okay, I will roll the Doom Pool. It's a little small right now.
To create a shining Aegis around the Masters.
No, that gets off. My best is 17. No ones, though. So, yeah, Mash digs her shield and just probably makes angry Mash noises. And then just, there's a big glowy white energy field around all of you. Yay, Mash.
Yes. And I will pass it to, I believe, Sela asked for me to pass it to her.
Yeah.
So I will pass it to you.
So for the sake of the scene, Hoshi's not in the scene because she's standing guard. Also, don't. Just because she's evil, don't know about her getting in all that fun, muddy junk.
It's a 50-50. Either she'll be like, I'm already evil, bitch, or it'll be like, oh my god, this is the worst thing.
Yeah, I'd rather her keep standing watch. But so, I'm up top on the cliff, a bit ways away. I'm gonna spend a plot point to use a stunt to just full-on might guide dynamic entry this shit as I go down to kick her in the face.
Okay. That's a good stunt.
Yeah.
So you are now adding a D8 to this because stunt you.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the acrobatics because, it feels acrobatics.
Are you gonna believe that Black Grail is actually probably really bad at defending against this sort of thing? Would you believe that?
I'm gonna hope.
With her good old endurance E?
But,
interesting, considering that you think she could just regenerate herself.
Using my foot, so I can't really use my brass knuckles, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is the problem with narratives.
Yeah, I'll spend a plot point to use reinforcement so I can do some of my S effects, hopefully, maybe.
Also, action regeneration does not always mean that you're particularly tanky. Just because you can regenerate damage doesn't mean you can endure the damage itself as the process of regeneration.
Fair, I more to see as like she's an Einsburn thing filled with mud that can just...
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she actually has positive abilities to do
I guess it's more like a skill they could have.
I have a D8 Lone Wolf, and we'll use the last D8 from a Powerhouse. So 4D8, a D4, and a D10.
And I assume you are intending to cause physical stress.
Yes, and I'm gonna, just for the sake of narrative, I'm gonna dynamic entry and pop off to kick her and then pop a ways away. I don't want to land in that mud.
Can you technically use the complication Ku made?
Can I?
So narratively, you could justify it, but I don't you have to justify it narratively. I don't think it makes sense. It just means that she can't use her Noble Phantasm dice.
Yeah, I'm picking her. Yeah, it's understandable. I wasn't gonna try to use it because it didn't make any sense.
No, that was a good question to ask because it doesn't think it works in sense. Also, I apologize to everyone both on call and at home. I blew into Mike very hard while thinking about that.
Okay, so I have 11 with a D10 stress.
Okay, we got an 11 with a D10. D10 Lone Wolf still, for now. We're gonna actually let's see, what am I doing for currently? Yeah, sure, let's turn one of my D6s into a D8 to use, Einsburn Homunculus as a negative for a D4. She is just a homunculus.
Yeah.
They aren't actually really made to be that tough. It's more about the shitloads of levels of magical energy than anything else. She does also have an endurance E, so that's another D4, 2 D4s. But You are using Magecraft, so I will add her A for magic resistance. Okay. Let's see. Skills. Which one is the best skill of this? Let's go with connection to the root for a D8. That lets her have unusually strong parameters. Can't use her Noble Phantasm. I will let her use her tool, Dress of Heaven, for another D8. Roll! Oh, well, okay. That's a 17.
No, it's an 18.
Oh, there's an 8 in there, that's right. Okay, so, nope, that's a really good roll. I do have an opportunity on one of those D4s. If you wanted to make a bigger stunt, make a resource or something, shenanigans things.
Let me double check on...
Alright. But yeah, so she's gonna go for a 8, 18, with a D12. Nah, D12's a very high number. Well, that would give Merit something to do, sure. Even though we talked about how it's mean. Wait, actually, hold on, though. I gotta double check when, as the world, how me countering works. Do I have to spend a plot point for that?
Yeah, if they don't have counter, I think we still have to spend a plot point to do it. So I don't know how that would work.
For D12 to do that? Let me check my world notes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's set up to a D12, doesn't it?
Well, clapbacks don't step up, but it would be a D12 effect die. So the question is just whether or not how can I work that?
Oh, there is a D12 in there. I
No,
didn't
yeah,
even see the D12.
it's her magic resistance. She rolled it, and it's technically not my highest, so I've got it free. It's one of the characters. Be under the Doom pool, right? Spend any die. Did a special effects. For additional, I keep effects. Oh no! Spend a D6 or just a D6 or higher to use my effect die. So I will spend a D6. And I will give you a D12 physical stress back. Hey, now Marie has something to do.
Oh, God.
So you kick her. It's like kicking a brick wall, and just... actually, no. What you don't see is that... actually, I got a better idea. What you don't see, even though she didn't use this trait, never mind, shut up, is as you're going in for the kick, she just flicks a hand and forms a giant wireframe cage made of magecraft around her. And you basically just kick into a whole bunch of sharp wires and bounce out.
Oh God,
you are now cut up everywhere.
Yeah, I just sort of, I just bounce away, just like fucking scattered on the ground.
And you're now covered in like really sharp fine cuts, because that is apparently that's the Einsburn Magecraft style, is turn your hair into sharp things with mana. Sela, who would you like to nominate to go next?
Okay. Devram.
Ooh, well, Devram gives himself a quick little facepalm upon seeing that display.
Look, it worked every other time.
Every other
Sela lies on the ground bleeding.
They are not wrong.
Every other time you punched.
That is also fair. Fair.
Lokita Alter is also watching the entrance, so she could be in the scene if I spend a plot point, but I'm not gonna.
Honestly, this seems way more fun as just an intimate dust-up between the Masters and Justice.
And Mash, because Mash is a D8 machine. Devram's gonna just pop off a shot. Lone Wolf.
A patented Devram shot?
Gonna go through the wires, go for that head.
Okay.
So it's filled up. This one's a good time for this one.
The anti-evil bullets I got you will definitely affect her.
Yep. So, I'm not sure it'll actually come out, because we actually seem to be doing real good as not going for the Grail. So, I'm going to use the distinction Hunter of Mages.
That's a good one. Yes.
Oh, you have that distinction too? You have that distinction too?
Yeah.
You're right. I thought that you were like, no one's surprised.
Oh, wait, mine's different, sorry. Mine's Enemy of the Mages Association.
Which is different, actually.
They are, in fact, distinct. No, that works.
No,
for the record, Black Grail's 3 distinctions are All the World's Evil, Einsburn Homunculus, and Lesser Grail Terminal.
Gonna go ahead and use my marksmanship for a second D10. My master die for existing.
She is technically a servant, you get a plot point for that.
Nice.
Oh, by the way, if Vespairr, if you didn't write down a plot point for you either, you should also.
I forgot.
That will be my sniper rifle for a third D10.
Is the anti-evil enchantment still on it?
Yeah, anti-evil. Add a D8. She's evil, right?
Oh boy, yes.
Okay, so that's 2d8, and I step up whatever effect I use. And we'll let it ride. At 3d10, 2d8, and a d4.
Good luck.
That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's an 18 there.
I'm going to spend a plot point to get that to a 24, and then I'll ride with a d12 effect die.
Okay.
24.
I should spend some dice on this so she doesn't explode and die.
She may explode and die if you don't do that.
It's a little early to the job. We're only an hour in. We'll try. We'll give it the old college try.
There's more things just in case.
If I was a mad lad, I would spend 2 more plot points to step that up to what is that?
I mean, if you blow her up too fast, that means I have to bring Father Tomas in, and then you'd be fucked.
It also is kind of interesting in a narrative sense for Sela to job when she's been punching everything to death to show how big bad this enemy is.
I mean,
you just got warped.
Yeah.
It's like, oh crap, she just got warped. She got warped hard.
Meanwhile, it sounds like if I don't do something, Devram's gonna actually shoot the villain and it's gonna work.
It might actually still do things.
Let's see how this goes. Let's see if the dice say you can.
Okay, D10, Lone Wolf. D4 for all the world's evil. Give me a D6. Because I'm gonna spend them.
You can't use magic resistance now, because she's not being shot by magic. She's shot by a bullet.
I mean, it's an enchanted bullet, though, isn't it?
I thought the gun itself is enchanted.
The gun is sanctified, not the bullet.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You're not actually using a magecraft tool to hurt her.
Nope.
So we will use...
The rounds themselves are styled...
Actually, yes, I'm going to justify this. I'm going to use her D12 for magic, and her D12 for territory creation, because we're going to use the D10 for Black Blessing, which is her sorcery trait. She's actually going to use Wireframe to try and defend herself.
Oh, the magic resistance still applies?
No, she's using her D12 territory creation. She's in her territory doing magic stuff.
Oh, okay.
And
she does all the skills.
We will use another D8 for Dress of Heaven, because it's a Mystic Code that she is using to do Mystic Code stuff. Do I want to keep any more dice, or do I want to let that one ride out?
I'll say this. The system really makes a lot of the not physically overpowering characters actually pretty good, because it's like you could just actually do other things and it'd still be as effective.
Oh yeah, usually. No. And when you guys see this character sheet later, you'll see Black Girl actually has a lot of fun little tricks. It's just kind of interesting we've immediately turned it into a physical conflict, because she can't actually try and clap with her Noble Phantasm, so she's just got to use her magic and stuff.
I did that because I thought things would probably get extra scary.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, fluff-wise, no. If she could actually use Song of Black Grail, that would be bad.
I view it as more of like, she just make a wave of mud come on us and we all be fucked, so it's like,
basically.
It's not.
Like, there would be mechanical reasons why you guys don't instantly job, but no, it'd probably be bad. I'm actually going to spend 2 D8s from the Doom Pool to add them to my roll.
Why would you do that?
He's afraid.
You know what? No, I won't get rid of them. I'll give you 2 plot points to keep them.
I was thinking of actually doing not punch Magecraft to Sela, but when I saw she gets resisted that magic, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Because Cela's not actually that good at doing regular Magecraft.
Okay, I think that's my pool. Okay, we've got a 9. We did get a 1 for an opportunity if you want to spend it. Oh, Vespairr, did you decide to do anything with that opportunity you got, or are you just gonna...
No, I didn't, sorry.
Okay, just making sure. I forgot, because we moved on. So I've got a 9 and a 7, and that's 16. What was your total again? 24?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. You can if you have your D10, you got the 9 and an 8, so you can do 17 and do plus 7 to 24. But
yeah, that's right. I can use my 8. That's right. So I can. Well, actually, no. I probably want to not use the 8 right now. I'll use one of the D10 7s because I can spend the 8 to keep. I can spend 2 8s to keep the 6 and the 8, and I think that'll be enough because that's 9 plus 7 is 16. Plus 8 is actually plus 8 is 24. So
if you didn't want to counter, you only need to spend 1 8.
Yeah, I'll spend 1 D8 and I'll spend a 6 to keep that D4 for 2 because that'll put me over because I have to exceed the roll. So I'm at 26 right now.
Oh, you can use a D6 for a D4?
And I don't want to spend any more. Yeah, I can spend any size that is higher. But I did it that way because I don't have any D10s in the Doom Pool currently, so I'd have to spend my D12 to keep them. But I can spend D8. So I've spent 2 dice out of the Doom Pool, and I gave Robin 2 plot points to now. So she basically just creates a shield of magic wires in front of her that the bullet gets lost in there somewhere, like it's cut up into just dust.
It just slices the bullet up into bits.
She's not saying anything to cast this magic, right?
No. It appears to be just just somatic components, basically. No
She's
verbal.
also made of magic, so I don't think she needs to say anything.
Yeah, she seems pretty easy to use her magic circuits instinctively, no chant or anything. It is a little bullshit, but she is very strong, so...
She does have a grail inside of her.
She's also an ascent. She's basically
one of her skills is Heaven's Feel, the third magic, the limited partial, she's made of a capital M magic, not that you guys would know that.
Yeah, that's what I was
Celeste
afraid
would know
of.
that, but...
Yes, that's why I'm half assuming we're just going to die at any time.
I mean,
that just means that she, functionally, especially at this lower rank, because it's only C, what the Heaven's Feel ability does is that it's partial realization of the third magic, so she has effectively limitless magical energy, but that just means that she could shoot unlimited noble phantasms, but she can't do that because her actual ability to do that is sealed, thanks to Matrix Wodan. Because she still has to speak the true name to do that part. But it does mean that she can just do magic stuff easily. Okay. So Devram, who do you want to nominate to go next?
Speaking of killing us all, you're up. Omega.
Oh, me. Okay.
What's the doom pool right now?
It's only 3d6s, 2d8s, and a d12.
That's alright.
Okay.
These power points you gave me mean nothing, by the way. I have too many.
Oh, you have a lot already?
You should
Maybe
hand
you
them
convert
out.
some back into XP. Like, if you remember the ones you converted.
You can't convert power points back into XP. That's not this rule.
I mean more of, like, the ones you converted and spent.
Nah, that's already happened. You don't know. Game
All
state
right.
changed. It's a solid point, but I think at this point there's no real reason to it.
Fair.
I think
better
the only
to
thing
learn.
he'd do with like 3 XP at this point would spend him to turn him back into plot points anyway, so might as well just keep him. Okay, I'm thinking.
Yes.
I'm thinking what I want to do. I can't do an AoE attack easily, because I can't use my Noble Phantasm. Unless I spend a lot of dice. But...
So just to ask, because we never had, like, a semi-permanent complication before, how does that work as, like...
it's till the end of the action scene. Like, it's like being taken out, almost. It's just, that's gonna... She cannot attack it, or I suppose she could if she could try and, like, overcome it by reaching higher than a D12, so it's really fucking hard.
It's a trauma complication.
Yeah, basically. There's not an explicit rule for that, but it does say that you can take people out that way. Like, theoretically, you could apply a grappled complication to somebody so hard they can't fight anymore. This is basically like, oh, you tried to seal her Noble Phantasm, and it is sealed now. She definitely cannot use it until some time passes. Or
You
I like
in a
this MP.
chokehold,
This MP is good.
trauma it, and they pass out because they're in a fucking chokehold.
Yes. So, let's see. No, that won't work. I could do that weird thing, but that would not be very entertaining. Technically, we could just make you guys do the Shadow Servant boss rush, but since it's just the Masters over here, let's not do that. Let's just have Black Grail
That
try
would
to
be
do
a
some
bit
fun
much.
stuff.
I mean, there's only Ku here, but he's doing caster things.
Masters here.
Yeah, but I think at this point, while your servants aren't in the scene, it would be rude to suddenly be like, and suddenly you have to fight Shadow Herc. That's if we were somehow already at 3 hours. That would be Herc falls, everybody dies. But we're only an hour in, so let's do some fun stuff.
I'll say this is kind of like, it's like the Vidalia Fuyuki, where it's just the Masters Ku and Mash fighting the boss.
Only you've already beat that boss, but that was a clusterfuck. That was just a fuck machine.
That was all like the penultimate bosses.
So Sela got clapped back. Devram is completely harmless and ineffectual. The rifle, in Justice's mind, the rifle is clearly compensating for something. So we're gonna get back at that Aelius kid. We don't like him.
Oh god, I don't know.
So
You think she'd be looking for compensation in the guy?
So she's just gonna, it's exactly kind of like we said. Just she's got that weird black circle thing in her forehead. Just more Grail goo just pours out of that and starts filling the space at her feet again. And she just kind of spreads her arms inside her thing and just makes a waving motion. And some all the world's evil is just gonna try and goop up Aelius. We're gonna curse him real good.
I wonder if this is a good time where it's like I just use this plot point to leave the scene.
You could, but you'd be out of the scene. So
Yes.
Wait till you see if she rolls. You can always do that to get out of a complication scene.
We'll see how bad it gets first.
I think until the point where you commit to rolling a defense, you can spend that plot point and just be like, nah, brah.
Yeah. It also says it's 1 or 2, but I guess it depends on how severe it is. So it's like, I guess it'd be 2 if like I want to avoid being scalabast, or I guess drowned, I guess.
Cursed. The intent is to inflict a cursed complication upon you.
There.
So we're going to use all the world's evil as a positive. I already gave her a D10 for Lone Wolf. She is using her D12 mana, or D12 MP. Wonder why she's got that. We're going to use Territory Creation as another positive for another D12. We're going to use her skill Pollution for a D8. So we're at 2 D8s. And we get to add a D6 and step up the effect die +1 when making a Cursed Complication. Is that how that works? We will add a third D8 for Dress of Heaven. That's the word I'm looking for. How am I dumb? And then, let's see. Yeah, I kind of want to see if I can... Well, you might just get out of it. I don't... No, we'll let it ride. I was thinking about adding another trait, but we'll just roll them. 7 and 7? I think that's it. Got an opportunity in there. So I think that'll just be the 14 with a D12 stepped up. So you can... You can spend a plot point to leave the scene, or you can try and avoid being super cursed.
Just to ask, I get all the buffs that Celeste and Mosh made, right?
Well, you get all the buffs that Mash made. Yeah, you get a D8 asset? D10? What was that again?
No, it was a D12 asset.
D12, yeah. You get a D12 barrier asset. That would definitely apply.
Does this count as a complication or a stress or trauma?
This would be a complication. She's attempting to curse you.
So I can't use Dagger to do that. That's fine. Alright, let's see here. I'm just going to consider my pool, and then if I like those chances, I'll go for it.
Yeah, because we're looking at a 14 with a D12 effect die, which will be stepped up 1, because I'm cursed.
If I go for it, I get an extra plot point, which I might need. Paired, Master Die, Dagger Mastery, because I'm using this. The Dagger, Shield Rune.
Yeah, you do still have that. That's a handy one. Resources
really
are
important right now. And let's see, it'd be a D10, another D10 because I'm paired with Ku, then another D12, another D8, a D4, another D8, and a D8. I still take the chances.
All right.
D4.
Everybody prepare your one image about that bird, about the risks that are calculating, in case this goes wrong.
Yes.
I'm just preparing for the, what is it? Dice for him to roll the wrong thing.
No, I think he's got it. He did it once. He'll remember.
Will he,
though? Count with D8s.
Well, hopefully. We're talking about it before he actually rolled, so.
3 of them.
By the way, audience at home, I hope you're playing Grand Battle. It would be a really good choice for this right now. The pianos,
2.
Actually, was there like a cool final boss theme for the Zero collab? I don't remember there being one.
Let me look it up.
I think they just used the Zero music, which is kind of
probably
did.
That would be pretty good. Battle to the Strong would be really neat right now. That definitely has the right ominous feel. Or possibly Emmy a Time Altar.
This is why I want them to remake Fate, because I think what they could do with this soundtrack, especially the final stuff, is...
We'll see. Cool. I mean, after UFO Table actually finishes Heaven's Feel, it'll be after the
question. So if I match it, I'm okay, right?
No. Your defense roll needs to exceed the reaction.
Well, then I can do that. I can make it.
Yeah,
I can just spend my pop point to do that. I'll just use the pop point I got.
Well, you got 2, so I'm gonna activate both those opportunities to give myself 2 more D6s, just so I have some options for some SF and stuff.
So I'll take the 2 plot points, and I'll add 1 to make it so I have 18.
Sorry, go ahead. 18.
So I have an 18 at D8 effects, but it just means I don't get cursed.
All right, so yeah, the curses basically bounce off your barriers and stuff. Ooh, there is Grand Battle music. Cool. Can I open this without it being super loud?
I imaged that Aelius reflexively just grabs this dagger he has on his holster on his thigh, just holds it, and then the barriers block it, and then I assume one gets through and his body just turns into Mercury and avoids the his arm turns into Mercury for a moment.
Temporarily glue yourself to get out of a little splash. Yeah, most of it bounces off the 5 barriers on you. Your little shield rune lights up.
Not sure if that expires.
Also, actually, by the way, I assume. Well, I don't know. Card might have forgot it too, but while Card is muting, we did say about servants. I believe Sherlock is technically still here. He's standing with.
Where's Marie in this room right now?
With Marie, who's kind of I don't remember if Marie was waiting at the back or not. I think he was still around. Just he was going to distract him. I don't think he was actually at the checkpoint.
As a reminder, Marie was in the middle of the cavern, away from the Greater Grail.
Okay, so you were in the middle. That means we can you guys probably can still bounce to him as he's in the scene, but you have to narratively run up. Yeah, I have to pick somebody. I could shoot it to him if he wants it, or I could shoot it to somebody else. I'm trying to think. Card, do you have a particular desire to go with anybody?
Not really.
Okay, so who? I think then it's got to be Aelius, because I think that he's the only one.
Aelius has already went.
No, Ku just did.
Ku went.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we'll go with Aelius.
In this case, I think he's going to back up a bit more. More distance.
Lots of backing up.
And then he's gonna try something probably kind of bad, and he's just gonna try to, he's gonna use his magecraft, or through his dagger, to chains of venomous Greek fire, to just do like a bound by fire complication.
Okay.
And see how that goes.
Alright. I love Robin's phrasing, by the way. Robin has stepped away for a second and said, "Don't do anything to me." Okay. So, compose your pool, sir.
Alright. It's going to be probably fairly similar this time, but probably a little better. So, actually a little less, because I actually won't have things. Let's see, so... Master Air through Dead this is my magecraft, I know what the fuck I'm doing, hopefully. Master Die. I'm still technically paired with Ku.
Yes.
Actually, can I borrow one of his dice then?
Yeah. You're paired. At the moment, that's still, and honestly, I think usually one die doesn't usually matter.
Yeah, just more of like if I'm adding like a D12 or something, because all this goes with that. Yeah. Actually, yeah. Yeah, you like use one of his runes to like buff it up a bit. Do I get the effects of it or just the die?
Just the die.
Okay.
I think
good sense.
So that's the way the support SFX is worded, for instance. So I think, yeah, there's no, unless there's somebody that explicitly gets the ability to share an SFX, there's none of that.
Alright, so 8. Add the plot point. Put that down later. D8.
Lucky, what the fuck? That's right, Lucky, I'm calling you out.
Immolation Bind.
What is it, what the fuck?
In general.
Pop in general for a second.
In general.
My dude.
I hit it with a what ended read. Because what the fuck?
D6. Yeah, D6 and 7 for your effect die plus 1 when using this to Mystico to inflict a burning plus bound type of complication.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so D6, and then D8, D8, and a D8. 8, 1d10, and...
There's a lot of really good ominous chanting in this Fate Zero Grand.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is. I'm listening to it.
I think it's
I have
nice
it on
like,
very low. The audience might not be able to hear it after the edit, but I hope they can. If not, check it out. It's good. Just
I think it works because it's like this is more of like an unnerving mage fight than actually like a battle between servants.
Yeah. It's called 0.0 Grand Battle. You can look it up on YouTube.
Alright, I think this is my pool. Alright, so that would be a 19 for basically a bound complication.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be a 19.
What effect die?
19 with a D10, which makes a D12 effect.
Oh, you step up? Okay.
So
it steps back down because magic resistance has that effect.
Alright, cool. So it should be a D10.
So you got 2 1s.
Yes.
I'll give you 2 more plot points to turn that into a D8. I'll add a D6 and step it up immediately.
Alright, then
I only give you 1 plot point if I do that. If I step it up right away.
Yeah.
But still, just 1. You got a few. You're fine. Okay.
Alright, so then I have 6 of these now. I've had those plot points I've ever had this game.
That's good. Okay.
I'm probably going to use one of those, actually. Can I use that 4 to make it 23?
No, I've already given you the plot. Well,
I
gave you the plot point for the opportunities. I guess actually you can, if you want to. I think it resolved.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and stack it in there?
Yeah, I'll just make it 24. Or 20. Make it 23, yeah.
Okay, then let's try. Okay, so I'm confused by my tabs. My tabs, my things. Okay. Black Grail. Lone Wolf. Keep stacking those Lone Wolf dice for a D10zo.
I think I'm making good of like I'm just gonna inflict complications and let everyone else kill
that's
it.
gonna be pretty good.
It's like I'm
this is gonna get really
myself
well. I
gathering
suppose you won't because of the free step down, but it would get really awkward if somehow I roll like only 2s and I completely whiff it.
Yeah, it's like because it's like all Aelius can do is like throw water or fire at it. You can't curse.
Honestly, it's kind of. I mean,
it.
for terms of effect, it's kind of sad you sealed her NP because the way I fluffed it is she can use all the different elemental Irie NPs too and do like elemental magecraft. But also she can just blow you up with it. So it was a. as a in-character and out-of-character option, it was a very good choice. It's just,
like,
we missed out a couple of little fun moments.
I just wanted to, like, let's not have her be able to throw all the mud at it at once, kind of thing.
No, it's a good choice. So that was magic. That's magic resistance.
Also, I have no other choice to actually get to use it. So, has everyone here basically gotten to do all their NPs, or most of them? I think
I've done the one.
Yeah. Hoshikuma's done Oni Kanamo a couple times. Sherlock had a big elementary My Dear moment, which now I think I need to rewrite to include support because of how he uses it in Lost Build.
I'll need to see that myself.
Yeah, it's not much. It's just in the early bits. He like gives it to Mash to like give you a buff, which applies in battle. Which I was just
cool.
Well, that's neat. That's a canonical use. I'll have to actually put that in the mechanics, and that actually honestly makes it probably a lot better.
Does it make it so people can actually just know what he finds out?
Probably something. I mean, I don't think they discuss it too much other than just Mash gets buffed. Anyway, making a dice pool. D10 for Black Blessing, because that's her magecraft.
Mm-hmm. I'm literally trying to bind her with,
she'll probably, try and counter with Wireframe.
I'm, it's basically like Age of Gods, but Decayed level fire.
Yeah. Original Promethean Fire.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good way to call it, Promethean Fire.
Actually, that might be the later version of it, I call it. Besides OT and Greek Fire.
Let's do a second D8 for her Mystic Code, Dress of Heaven. It's good for everything. Now, let's see. Do I want to spend some stuff on some stuff? How many dice did you roll? I'm trying to beat a 23, though. You rolled a pretty decent pool. I'm dumb.
What?
I added a second D10 for something, but I've already got a D10 for her Lone Wolf in there. So I'm only rolling 6 dice. I do think I want to spice that up a little. How do I want to do that?
I only rolled 7 dice, so...
Okay, alright, that's fair. I will spend a single d6 so she can use 2 of her skills. And I won't be the mean one with the class skills. We'll add a third d8 for connection to the root, because that improves all of her parameters. Roll dice.
Okay. I think you could just tie it if you use one of their 7s, 8s.
Okay, so we got 8 and 7. It's probably well, let's just do the 8 and the 8. I'm probably not going to do the shenanigans with the d12. So 8 and 8 makes 16. So she's got I can spend 1 d8 to get a 7 on that. That's 16 plus 7 is what, 23?
Yes.
So to exceed...
Do you have another d8 to spend?
I do. Do I want to, though? I've met it so it won't step up, so it'll stay a d10 complication. Do I want to do that? Yeah, no, that's cool. I'll stop there. Okay. So you do succeed. It would step up because of your SFX, but magic resistance steps it back down, so she now has a D10 bound by fire complication. Do you want to spend a plot point now to make it persistent, or do you want it to use the last and see your next roll? You want to make it persistent?
I have it persistent because I have a bunch of these, so might as well.
Alright, sure. Alright, so that's stuck. She is now wrapped in chains. She keeps them from getting too close to her with the wireframes, but you've kind of bounded her up, and they're on fire, so they actually seem to be semi-resistant to her super cursed goo.
Yeah, they're made of Promethean fire, so.
Well, and also I think logistically that makes sense because, as we all know now, the Grail Mud is technically a degraded version of Tiamat's Chaos Tide, so it's not as cool.
So another god's
as Age of God stuff.
Resist it. Yeah.
All right. Who do you want to nominate? I think
who is not gone yet.
I think it's just Marie and Sherlock now, isn't it?
Yeah. Technically, Devram can spend a PP to get Okitan in here, but yeah, it would be Marie and Sherlock, I think, are the ones left.
Yeah.
And we have to nominate them.
Yeah, so I'm just not sure which one to give, because it's I guess...
I mean, Sela is injured.
Oh yeah, Miss Marie.
Sela's pretty injured.
You have to go drag Sela away.
Alright, so you nominate Marie?
Yeah. Do that trick was coming. Question. When trying to just heal because I don't have a healing a healing thing on a spell mystical because I didn't actually think that far ahead. I can instead of trying to roll against the doom pool, I can just spend a plot point to heal her up, right?
Yes, if you have that SFX, you can just spend a plot point. And if you didn't add that, I would say you can totally have that. That would be on there.
Yeah, to be honest, I'll be discussing this later, but yeah, essentially, I'm just going to burn a plot point to completely heal Sela.
Alright. Sela, your stress is gone.
Oh, is it like is it all under the die type, or is it just stress? Period.
Technically, usually for skills, it's supposed to be die type, but it also doesn't have to be. It can depend. So I think it's fair call to just be like, "Now your physical stress is healed." Again, playtesting.
Okay.
I'm not in a rush to get overly rules lawyery with anybody.
No, fair. Just
Okay.
just making sure if that's the way or not.
I was actually hoping to use that stress, but if it's gone, I'm fine with that too. I'd rather not have a D12 stress.
I was hoping it'd be like a D8, so it would go down like 3.
So if Card doesn't mind using his whole action, he can attempt to roll versus the Doom Pool. It's not that bad, but it would add a D12 for your stress. But then it's like he would have to either make a D12 to make it go away, or if it was less, it would step down. So it's for action economy stuff. If he's got the plot points, it is just easier to just be like, no, you're healed.
And it would only step down to a D10.
Yes, it steps down once. So
yeah,
it's still pretty scary.
That's fine then.
So you're since we talked about some stuff, you are go to spend a plot point and just fix it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Toss out my last plot point because let's face it, I'm never going to use them.
Well, I don't know. You could have Sherlock try and punch her again. That might work. Well, though I don't know. She's got a complication now. The D10. That might not matter.
It's now a complication people can actually use in fighting her, I guess.
Yeah, but anyway, past Sherlock, and since we actually see that she's bound up. Well, like I said, next enemy I told Sherlock I'd be using. We saw I'd be using command spell, so.
Time to melt him with discovery beams.
Actually, no, we're going to see that magic was ineffective, so. This is going to seem really, really stupid, but Marie's going to say to him, by my command spell under Horse's light, punch her head off,
beat her up.
Essentially.
All right.
Does elementary rider count as a magecraft?
Itself does not, but no, he does just straight up do magecraft attacks though.
Oh, okay. That's still asked.
Okay, let's see. That command spell is going to boost his strength so that I can get a 12 for strength and do a pair. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Not fully Polly.
Who's Sherlock pairing with?
Marie.
Okay.
Because he is technically using a command spell on him.
That's fair. I just missed it and wanted to make sure what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you're posting things in hell and not safe for work. That's right, I called you out on recording.
Then also go up to another D10 for because of Babitsu. Let's see, what else could I use?
I mean, I was also mainly asking because Sela gets the D10 pair dice, and I kind of like having that, but there's no one to pair up for my narrative purpose.
Sorry. Yeah, I think that's it, unfortunately.
Oh, did you remember the D10 complication because she's bound?
Oh, right, that'd be 3 D10s instead. Alright, dice, let's see if you screw me over. No! Okay. But the best I can do is that, is a 14.
Could you have
you can get a 15
uh,
with the D10.
Yeah,
or you can
do
do
a
14 D12.
Yeah.
I was like, you could also, could you have given Sherlock any of your dice, right?
I don't think any. He's telling him to punch him. I don't think he's got anything relevant. He already used the command spell.
Besides, I guess like medicine, just like where to punch.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, that requires plot points.
No, because
no, for your own servant, you can freely share dice because you give a plot point to yourself.
That's why I've been doing it all the time.
So if you wanna add your anatomy knowledge in there.
Okay, yeah, I'll
for the sake of it.
Let's see if that helps. Oh no, I can actually get that up to 16. So yeah, 16 with a
D12 effect. Ooh, spicy punch. Okay, D10 obviously lone wolf. D4 for Einsborn Homunculus. Again, she's not a martial artist. She's a magic cup lady.
She was not designed to be punched.
She's a very scary couplet.
Very scary, but no, it's not. I'm gonna add a D6 with that.
I can also say this has probably put the fear of the Grail into most of us here.
Well,
like,
yeah,
no, we don't fuck
you
with
guys
this.
are gonna have a real interesting experience.
It's like, no, we don't fuck with this.
That, she is in her territory, so we can justify that D12.
This makes it a weird...
struggle of not bringing Okita Altar into one-shotter, because I'm pretty sure that'll happen.
I mean, you could do that next round.
Well, we're at the end of the action round, so well, one, you could spend a plot point at any time to just be like, "Nah, I'm here."
And you could totally do the Hokutan goes last, now she goes first.
You could actually. The round is about to end, so if you want a shenanigans and double tap, we can go for that. But
if
anyway,
you want the counter guardian,
roll the counter
guardian
first
thing.
Well, the response roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Skills.
My struggle is, well, yeah, that's absolutely what she would do.
But
She
you
would
want
jump
Devram to
in.
kill her now.
But I mean, this is like an actual master fight, so it's cool.
Oh yeah, there's
Narratively,
definitely
she's definitely jumping in.
there's no reason for her to do it, but there's also a cool meta context for her to not want to jump.
It depends if you want to consider if you're playing two characters or not playing Devram, who just has OK to alter as an asset.
Yeah, honestly, that's an interesting way to think about it. We've kind of bounced back and forth between who's role-playing whom a lot of the time.
So it's like, I think for Devram, you consider OK to alter just a sword you use to attack things, but...
For once, I might actually get to use my Magecraft.
Okay, where was I? I think I got her dice pool, so that's D10 Lone Wolf, D4 for her Einsborn Homunculus is a negative, so I can get a D6 in the Doom pool, another D4 for her Endurance, because again, she's not great at this. I am going to use her Territory Creation as a D12. I'm using 2 D8s, one for her Connection to the Root skill, because that improves her parameters. And then Dress of Heaven, because everything. I'm mostly concerned... I got a decent number of dice. I'm mostly concerned with just not rolling all, like, 3s and jobbing immediately, but we'll just roll the dice and see what happens.
I will say, like, this fight is very...
I did get a 14, so I don't job.
I will say this fight's pretty cool. Honest, like, this fight's been pretty cool, even if it's, like, been kind of, like, lower intensity.
Honestly, I think it's lower showy, but it's not necessarily lower intensity, so yeah,
Well, like a case file's big boss.
Sherlock with a command-sealed enhanced, Baritsu hand just boom, right in her weird dark forehead, and you see, like, her blood start to come out as he scoots back because he's a very fast man. Was his agility, like, A as a caster?
He can do, like, the Castlevania backstep.
Yeah, basically. So she now has a D12 physical stress, and I am assuming that, like, as we discussed for reasons, Okitai is not going to interrupt the action order, so...
No.
But
Card, now pass me the rock.
Card, you can name anybody, because it's the end of the action order.
Alright, back to Marie.
Last first.
Is Reek gonna, like, carve open her stomach to pull out the Grail or something?
No. I have to feel upset. He starts to walk over there. He's like, it's been a long day. Like, if this works, no offense, but like I said to the last lady, I'm just here for a job. I really don't care about all this nonsense. So, if this works, hey, if not, I can always have him punch you again. Okay. That, let's see, D4 because I'm a master.
Did you get a plot point?
Mm-hmm.
Good old plot point.
Yep. I'm probably going to burn that for what I have planned.
Also, this is the thing I thought of. You probably could have made a thing where all of your medical tools and your scalpels are made with, like, enchanted obsidian.
Probably if you wanted to make them tools, we could probably... That's a long-term thought.
Yeah,
but hold on, he's got to do math now.
Yeah, this would definitely be a medic thing because I'm knowing Wick because of the whole pressure point thing. Because hey, no one to strike someone to calm them down or
I thought you were gonna carve her heart out or something.
No.
It's a good point. What is the intent of this roll? Are you inflicting more physical stress or as a complication?
More using essentially he's going to be using his necromancy just to use that last bit of physical stress to push her over.
Okay. All right.
So send a curse through her, send a curse through her circuits.
She is technically at some level fleshy, so it will apply.
Mm-hmm.
She does have magic resistance, but she also has a shitload of stress.
Did you add the D10?
Well, I don't know. He's still working through it. Calm down.
Yeah, it's like calm down, Max. Calm down. I'm trying to parse this all out.
I actually saw what Omega rolled his card for some reason. Sorry.
No, it's alright.
Typing it.
I could technically pull out a scalpel from my like for my medical badge, is a better conduit than just straight flesh on flesh. So yeah, why not?
You have my knife.
You do
Actually,
have
no, I gave that to Sherlock.
Oh yeah, you did.
What?
Yeah, he passed it off to when they did we actually never brought that up, but when he did the switcheroo last time with the double Marites, the knife was passed to Sherlock as Marite.
Oh, he was expecting for like Devram to like fuck his shit up.
Devram knows that Sherlock has the knife. Okay.
Yep.
Weird.
I mean, we know that now that we've sorted it out. It was more just we didn't bring it up in the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I could also technically because I can. I'm gonna do this as a team just because I'm doing this with basically everybody. Then
if Sherlock has to go again, we can always have him punch the knife at her like he's Sigurd.
Yeah,
Sigurd knife puncher.
And then because, like I said, I'm using my necromancy for this, so a D8, a 1D4, a D8, 2D6, and 2D10.
You remembering the D12 for physical stress also?
Oh,
that
right.
counts, yeah.
That's right. That's why that's why you said it before rolling. And that ride.
You're going to work?
Ooh.
Dallas, you want to probably mute yourself.
Well,
that's a 16 of the D12 effect.
It's still pretty good.
Mm-hmm. But that is an opportunity.
Yeah, I will give you a plot point to turn one of my D6s to a D8.
Mm-hmm.
Also, by the way, at home, kids, can you tell that Lost Belt 2 just came out? All the jokes.
No, there's no way it did.
You know what? I think I'm going to burn that plot point to actually make it that a 19 to make the 19 instead.
All right.
Oh, you're not gonna use the D10 4? Make it 20.
Yeah, I think that would be doable because you're using the D12, right?
Yeah.
So you use the 6 from the D6, the 10, and if you use the 4, yeah, that's 20.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No problem.
Got
your back.
I mean this, no offense, but I can tell you're yawning a little bit. We're probably a little sleepy. It is a little late.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? Math. My own math. Building a pool.
Mm-hmm.
Look at my list of...
Can you exceed a 20, or do we or does Marie get the kill?
We shall see. Okay, Lone Wolf, obviously. I will use Einsburn Homunculus as a positive, because maybe her anatomy's weird or something. I don't know. She's magic.
Or she doesn't have a heart.
Well, I don't think he's going for the heart, because
Sherlock
also punched her in the head, so...
Fair.
The spirit core is the head and heart.
Gotcha.
We will use her... Yeah, we'll use the 2 D12 traits we're allowed, her magic and her... Actually, no. Endurance probably makes more sense for that, but we will use the D12 magic resistance, because that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I've noticed something. I didn't actually... Actually, I'll tell you later.
What's the best way to... Yeah, no. Connection to the root is the best. For another D8. Improves her parameters. Throw in a third D8. And do I want to spice this up? You rolled a decent number of dice, but am I rolling the same? Let me count real quick. It's 4. Okay, so I'm only rolling 6. I don't have any D6s. I'll spend 2 D6s from the Doom Pool just to see if that does something. But it probably won't. Roll them. Okay, I did get an 11. I got a shitload of 1s, though.
That is a 19 before spending anything.
Okay, so I could spend to exceed. Hold on.
You don't have to spend a d6 to pass.
Yes, it's true. Just wondering if I want it or not. We can still go for some more time. We'll spend a d6 to keep that 4, and so she does exceed. Just you try and curse her with your necromancy basically, and it is kind of that thing that Axe brought up before, right? Where it's like you're trying to damage her, but her magic circuits are robust enough that she actually starts regenerating faster. Mm-hmm. Maybe like this original form had healing magecraft or something.
Yeah, recently, it's like if you were you guys think of if he wasn't all Grail corrupted, I could have learned a thing or two. Oh well.
I actually think Irie could have also been someone that Marie could have summoned. That would have probably not been.
That would have, I don't know if that would make sense logically, but that would have been funny.
Yeah.
I would have used a Grail fragment or something.
Anyway, pass it back to Sherlock.
Oh, you want to finish? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Sherlock hasn't.
Yeah, technically it's back to top of the round, so...
Just curious, you wanted to let Mosh have, like, the chance of the final blow.
No. Mosh doesn't do final blows. That's not Mosh's thing.
Yeah. Let's see.
I think every team but Marit has got a killing blow.
Yeah.
No.
No? You haven't actually got anybody, Devram?
Nope.
Let's see.
Alas.
Let's see. I'm going to build this up. I'm not going to use a command spell this time, but he's going to pair it just so that he can be open for someone to pair up with. He's going to once again borrow my knowledge of the human body.
So he's pairing up with you then.
No, technically, Marit did team so that anyone could work with him, as that.
That's true.
But
it has to
be.
But
if you declare pair, then you are saying that Holmes is paired with you because you're using your dice.
Like if you're letting him borrow your dice, you have to be paired with him.
Right.
Yes, it's a moment to team distinctions are a moment to moment thing. So if Sherlock is using pair, even though you use team, he is pairing with you. You'd use team to leave that open ended.
What?
Right.
Or just suck it up and use pair, and
Right. Let's see. Using agility because to make that make that 3d10.
Yes.
Hello.
No, I was just answering the fair.
And then make 4d10 for with the Baritsu, then the d12 complication. Am I forgetting anything?
It should be the D10 complication.
Another
She has a
D10?
D12, but that's only just because she can't use Song of Grail. The chain for D10.
Yeah, the chain is persistent. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I remember language.
But but I'm not forgetting anything else.
You did all home parameter dice, class skill.
Yeah.
Classes probably don't apply.
Using his agility, which is you're busted.
Teamwork, distinction, skill, class skill.
Did any of Holmes' distinctions pop in for D8? Actually, honestly, that is probably one of those cases where Holmes' distinctions don't always apply. If he's just punching people, I don't know.
I mean, you could for a D4 and another plot point, just in case.
I suppose. If you do want more plot points.
Nah, I'll just do this and let it ride. Let's see if I burn my last plot point. That will be a 19. So yeah,
19 D10 effect. 19.
And because she's already got it. Once you're already at D12 stress, as we've learned, it doesn't really matter what kind of stress you do.
It just depends on how hard it is to lower it.
Alrighty, me. Did I actually hit? Yes, I actually hit the end of the 30-minute extended cut. Cool.
Oh.
Alright. Dice pool. Polly. Still on Wolf. Still not good at being punched. Add another D6 because I'm running out of those. Doom pool, by the way, currently is now 2D6, 3D8, and a D12. Another D4 for endurance. We'll use her territory creation. She's in her territory. We will add a D8 for connection to the root. A second D8 for that thing I said. Dress of Heaven. Okay, so we got a 14. I can probably spend enough dice, but is it worth it?
Did one of those D4s.
Yeah, the D4s did good. They both got tops.
There's also an opportunity, but I don't really carded any plot points left.
Nope, no plot points left.
No. Okay, so I'm at, 14? I could easily spend both my D6s to keep those extras to go to 18 and then to 22, which would be enough.
Increase by 3, yeah.
No, but I think I want to let it go at just the 14. Because, narratively, I think what happens will be interesting.
So then it clears, so it then becomes a 4, so it's a D6 trauma.
No. It goes to D4.
Alright.
Because her trauma steps up beyond 12 once. Because it's a D12 inflicted. It was just 19, so it's not crazy stepped up.
Yeah. Steps up by 5, yeah.
But anyway, it's okay. You've already inflicted it in the moment. She takes the trauma. She's removed from the action scene. So I get a lot of blurps. A lot of people posting all of a sudden. Okay. So Holmes goes in for the finishing punch, and she tries to get out of the way. And he just, like some kind of Metropolitan Macarius, just ends up punching right into her torso region. There's a little bit of bark, bark, and Holmes comes back holding a big shiny gold cup. Yay!
What does it say, Yolo Kobe?
No. He probably says something else cool, but I can't think of it.
I kind of wonder if
Tentacle
Sherlock would have had a cane sword.
I mean, he has a cane. I should probably add it to his stat line, but
Yes, he has a
sword.
cane that he does, like, sort of whip around.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a full-on sword. It's just a blunt force trauma he's slapping.
I think I know what Holmes tastes like, and that's still the mystery of where the Grail was.
Another case for the books.
Yep.
And yeah, basically, as she is disconnected from her source of magical goo, the black girl kind of like steps back, kind of, and just starts to smoke and just kind of, dissolves into spiritrons.
I wonder if, like, the chains just start ripping her as she fades away. And then
no, Axe, stop. You didn't get the killing blow.
No, not what I meant. Okay.
No, stop trying to do stuff. You did stuff already. It's fine. You don't have to be in every bit. Anyway, all the world's evil, the Grail Mud basically also starts to just and, like, steam away. You maybe see spooky, scary faces in the smoke. Celeste, your vision slowly starts clearing.
Yeah, like, I think Celeste sees a lot of that.
I can see again. I'm not blind.
And so, you guys are all standing there, and one Sherlock Holmes is holding a Grail. Probably throws it up in the air, doing cool flips. It's audibly shiny.
He's just twirling it on his finger like a basketball.
Well, that was officially a fake. Too bad I didn't get to know when she wasn't all possessed by that slime. Now she had really good healing magic. Would love to learn. Anyway, Sherlock, give that Master Grail and let's go back to this in case my fuckhead shows back up.
I love how, but both in and out of character, I believe, that Card and Marie don't like Father Tomas. I love it.
It's fair.
No, but he's just so good at expressing it.
You got something against the guy?
I could stab Celeste in the neck, and I had to fix that.
He did nothing wrong.
He did nothing wrong. He just, wrapped everybody up in chains and tried to strangle them.
In Aelius' case, he did fucked up shit, but he didn't actually do anything wrong to him, but that doesn't mean much.
Well, no. There's another reason why Marie hates them, and it's totally is a theological thing.
That also
makes sense. That's fair. There's a lot of theological reasons to not like Father Tomas.
Totally fair.
Anyway, yeah, so...
I'll go up to Holmes and be like, may I give the Grail to my servant?
He is Sherlock Holmes. He would know if you're being sus. And I'm pretty sure you're not sussy, so he'll give you the solid Holmes eyebrow.
So he'll know if I'm being sus.
I mean, he can roll some stuff if you actually think you're being sus, but yeah, no, it is Sherlock Holmes. He has like 2 skills for this.
His main thing is to be like
he would not give the cup to me. He would give it to Matt.
Yeah, so I think Sherlock would kind of hold it back. He would just kind of like pull it back at the last second and be like...
Part of my character's backstory is that they should not be let anywhere near the Grail.
Both of yours? Okay.
Well,
I mean...
would you want to make a wish?
My character would immediately try and make a wish.
Yeah, I don't know, that makes sense.
It's not a bad wish.
No, but she would also... you did say that she does have basically like ADD. Like, she would just instinctively holding the wish machine would just be like, I'll make a wish.
Yeah.
Oh, you were saying?
It's not a bad wish, but she does have a very huge desire for the Grail.
I heard you got cut off by what you were saying.
Right, she has a huge desire for the Grail because her wish is to become human.
Oh.
Yeah, so you kind of go for a reach out, and then Holmes
probably it's like Solomon's wish.
I have Pinocchio syndrome.
Kind of tips it back and says, like, I do not believe, madam, that would be a good idea.
You're
it would be
probably
best if Miss Curilight
right.
handled it directly.
Mash, take the Grail before I do something stupid.
Devram alarms go off.
Nash, take the Grail before he does something stupid, or she does something stupid. I mean, I'll say it right now, because it probably won't happen. If anybody had reached for the Grail besides Mash or Sherlock, I would have shot.
That's fair. No,
I think that would
be the setup for me.
It takes someone.
That's happening.
To say this, after what we've all seen, I think it takes a certain kind of person to go for it now.
No, I get you.
It's true, but I think the point with Dallas is just that his character would reflexively just try and see if it worked without any ill intent, and that would
for Dallas, that'd be for everyone else here.
I mean, I gotta be honest, I don't think Sela gives a fuck, but also I don't think she'd actually even be like... I don't know if Sela would actually be, not necessarily dumb, but just like, non-reflexive enough to be like, I'll try and make a wish.
Vespairr, just ask, does Sela have a wish for the Grail?
You wouldn't know.
Alright, Aelius doesn't have one either, so it doesn't matter.
So Mash lays her shield basically down on the ground, and Sherlock's gonna bring it over there and unblock it. So I'll ask you guys an out of character question, because we are under 2 hours, technically, without editing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to have the chance to have all your servants punch Father Tomas, or are you okay just ending it with one action scene and we go home? Because
I'm fine having a round table at the end.
I'm cool either way.
I'm okay having an epilogue scene in Chaldea. That'd be fun.
I don't think we'd linger too long, but yeah, we could do some epilogue stuff. We'd do some unpacking, but
I
yes.
feel like we already had enough of Father Tomas.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's have it with his army showing up as it fades away, and he's like...
yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, is just that... So yes, Sherlock puts the Grail down on the shield, Mash does it, and you see the summon lines spin up, and the Grail kind of, is secured. It goes, whoop, makes the warp noises, and then just kind of the ground shakes a little bit, and it does that thing every Singularity does, where everything just starts kind of fading out to white.
Me and Okita are just doing high five secret handshake bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Caster.
I imagine he might survive somehow, but it'd be in a this will come up eventually comic book
be an event
style
later.
ending.
Yeah. But yeah,
Like,
I'm just kind of imagining that
dead.
just like, because he's been out punching bones, just you guys, as the Singularity kind of starts to fade and the smoke in a big, the smoky sky starts to expand in a ring, you guys can finally see the stars again. They're all correct. The stars are not wrong. It's not a weird thing. But are the stars right? Who knows? No, you guys don't know what foreigners are. That would be a whole other unpacking.
Aelius says goodbyes to his servants.
Mm-hmm. Ku probably gives it, the old clap on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, that was pretty fun, Master. But next time, try to summon me as a lancer." As he fades away.
I'll give it a shot.
Next time, Archer Coup. God damn it!
Shit.
Actually, the Rider Q with his chariot.
Well, this is better at least.
I'm pretty sure Coup could literally be every class.
He could, honestly, yes.
Probably. If we're being real.
Who knows? They probably may
His
have said that
chariot is
already, I
actually
don't know.
super
It's
metal.
Just the question would be if he has a cool sword somewhere.
I think he
Yeah, honestly, Saber is the only one I'm like, I don't know.
Much like how the only class Herc can't be is Caster, because he never had any Magecraft experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ku fades away, kind of, the ground starts to fade. Da Vinci makes, techno-babble noises, and just like, alright, preparing to race shit back, everybody, get ready to go home. The Amazons and Penth and all the others at the back kind of see just this, this army of, like, goobly-greebly Inquisitor men start to kind of come out of the shadows, and then they just start to, because they're made of stuff in the Singularity, they also just start to, fade away into Spiritron particles. I imagine Father Tomas does the whole, raises his hand and shakes it to the sky. I swear to God, you will not get away with this.
He raises his hand, shakes
that
it up.
Holy Grail. Yes.
Nothing comes out of his mouth.
Oh, you silence him. Yes.
Yeah.
So he's mouthing
I flip him off as I disappear.
as you wrist shift out. Perfect. That's the perfect exit.
The very player exit.
Are you going to shoot off his hat too? Like a cool guy?
Absolutely.
He doesn't have a hat.
Oh, he doesn't have a hat. That's right. He's bald.
No,
okay.
no.
If he had a hat, you should totally shoot it off, but he doesn't.
Oh, totally.
So just,
All
right.
Well,
Anybody else?
well,
Any
as
other thoughts as you're ray shifting out?
Yeah, Marie would throw his last smoke bomb at Father Tomas's face as his last bit of "fuck you."
Why did we all just pick tomatoes? Why don't we?
I just grabbed Mash and a giant bear hug.
All right.
Ugh.
Sela, anything you want to say?
Sela has had no real irons in the fire of Father Tomas aside
One last
from
drink
when
with
he immediately
Dominus?
stabbed.
Don't want to do one last drink of Hoshi?
Remember, Hoshi's coming with us.
Well,
yeah.
Your contracts are forged, so they should be able to reappear in
Oh,
Chaldea.
you just gotta
You could probably still do maybe a classy fist bump before you go.
Headbutt.
Aren't the servants like around in Chaldea? It's
Yes,
just
they
when
will.
we
They
get
will
kicked
be.
out of
They will
Chaldea.
basically be
I assume
resummoned
when we
over
get
there.
back,
but
we have our Saint Gravs show up in our coffins.
Anyway,
it will be something. We don't know the exact mechanics. Anyway, yes. So everybody flips off Father Tomas, and you leave. Just,
Yeah, pretty much.
we do the whole, and then hey, you're back in the command room. It's not on fire. In fact, this is the least amount of fire you guys have seen in literal hours, possibly days. How long did that take? You don't know.
Time didn't move, kind of.
Celeste looks slightly disappointed.
You guys are all let out of your ray shift coffins. Da Vinci is there. Dr. Roman's probably there, but the moment he opens his mouth to give his cameo, somebody shushes him or about something. It feels like a month, baby. Yeah. I feel like you've been gone for about 6 weeks. Somehow. But there's lots of congratulations. All those background filler characters in the fluff, yeah, clap, 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 clap.
Is Manuel there?
Of course he is.
I think he's working in the engine room or something. Or the actual, reactor room or something.
No, I mean, I think he's like a control room tech.
Oh, okay, I thought he was an engineer.
I don't remember exactly. They have explained it. I don't remember it right now. We're not going to look it up. But,
it's deep in there.
You, and you guys look up to the model of the globe, Aelius, and there's, just a big, the globe model, and there's that little light in Fuyuki, and it just, boop, pops out. And then 7 more lights show up. To be continued, only not. Smash cut end.
I was sort of thinking it would end on Olga showing up or something.
Would Sherlock be with us now?
Yes.
Uh-oh. No, because Sherlock will actually give me a side-eye then. Because he notices something that he did not notice when I was reshifted, because it wouldn't have showed up.
Oh, what is it?
I'm not made of human.
What?
I'm not made of. I'm not made of flesh and bone at all. I'm made out of clay.
Oh,
so it's not gay.
You're actually a raw human.
No, I'm very gay.
Someone had to say it.
Sherlock appears with a pipe somehow and just be like,
I guess for the final shot, all of our servants just show up behind us. It's like the screen cuts to black.
No, I still have Mac and a bear hug.
I mean, of course.
That's fair. You're Matt. You guys, there's probably a crash off scene as Hoshi declares, something like, "In the name of Mount Oe, I am taking possession of your pantry. Give me your booze."
Oki-Tan runs after her. I will get the sweets.
Clack, 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 clack.
I mean, honestly, in the case of FGO, I think the idea is one servant can't be bound to a master as they're just always around, and for us, it's just MASH.
They're bound to the reactor, I think.
Well, no, because also all the other servants are just out there all the time.
Well, they are, but they're held in place because of Chaldea. But I think in the case of for our characters, Hoshi and all our servants will always be around with us, even if we go into singularities, because they are our servants.
Like how
any other servant, something like that. System.
Mash is the main contracted. Everybody else is temporary because you specifically summon temporary contracts. That's why you can only use this briefcase to bring them out, which never existed.
And they're all normally they're anchored to Chaldea itself.
Yeah, but with there being multiple of us, there can be multiple servants who are constantly around.
Yeah, and I think that's what's happening. But also, your servants are immediately. I feel like we should probably smash cut to the Chaldea kitchen and just a ruckus begins.
Well, yeah. I was just trying to clarify the whole deal. It's messy. It's not. Again, it's not until Lost But moment they actually try to explain the mechanics.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's not until we actually get to the part 2 story where somebody realizes, oh yeah, we never actually bothered to explain what the fuck.
Like how the actual combat system
this is supposed to work, but now that we've changed it, we have to explain how it's different because...
Yes, which derailed something I was working on and pissed me the fuck off.
Also, we got time to say
I was working on a novelization, and I'm like, well, this changes everything.
Yeah, basically, you summon, you summon ghosts, or,
you summon, the phantom copy, so they exist for a little bit. Look, honestly, it should almost be like a fucking trading card anime, honestly, with Babylonia, they had enough support servants that they could temporarily contract, but, how it should be is almost Fujimaru should just pull his fucking Saint Graph trading cards out of his sleeve and play them.
And, put them over his, command seals.
Anyway, so yeah, I think the actual epilogue scene is just you guys all go to the kitchen for maybe a nice meal and just relaxing and tea and I'm not joking. Hoshi is totally trying to whatever booze ration Chaldea has. Hoshi is taking it.
I will begin to cook a feast.
The entire liquor cabinet is Hoshi's now.
Aelius will help you.
I was going to say, the kitchen staff are like, we need some sort of mother wearing red clothes to show up to take care of this mess.
I have that covered because I'm not even joking. One of my skills is motherly duties.
Yeah, no.
It is on my master sheet.
But are you wearing red?
Yes. Well, no, technically.
That's dad.
Now that I'm in Chaldea, yes.
Nice.
But in the field, I'm wearing black.
Mash sits and makes tea, because she can do that. And you guys
I
all
wonder if
have a
Temp's gonna,
pleasant
like,
evening.
enforce martial law upon the pantry now. Sort of like...
Yeah, Panther's probably like, no, hold on, don't steal those meats. We need those. As everybody has a good time bickering about the food, Sherlock just kind of sits in the back, puffs on his pipe. Try to save me one of the good wines.
I will.
Aelius is probably going to help you cook because he never gets burned. So
Yes.
You can fuck him all at once.
Devram continues to look sus as fuck to anybody who look at him.
Does Devram actually have a cowboy hat? I don't think we established that.
yeah, what was he
Does he
actually
have
wearing?
a hat?
No.
Okay.
So
Cowboy
then
hat.
Devram
Just
is
a
in a
duster.
staring contest for all eternity now.
I was wearing a duster.
Yeah.
Well, I was
And,
just
like,
wondering if Devram could be like propped up in the corner with his hat down, and then you're like, Devram, you're sleeping, you motherfucker. He's actually he pulls the reverse Okitan, and he's actually asleep. No, but no, he doesn't have a hat, so he just lounges in the corner, looking shifty.
You can't tell if his eyes are open or closed, but you think he's awake?
Edgelord.
No.
Like,
No, I'm
during
with
his
Cowboy.
well, like, just as, the file secret for read, he takes out his journal and starts writing everything down from his memory.
Oh, I do ask Da Vinci. Oh, by the way, where's the director?
She is recovering in the medical wing.
Okay.
Like, do they need my help?
No, I believe Dr. Roman has it under control.
Okay, just double check.
You hear that, Romani? Get back to work.
Because
Romani's
Actually,
no
here's the
longer
weird
in
thing.
charge now.
Do all of our
Right.
servants have the weird thing where they can't help but be mean to Arani? Or is that
No.
something they dropped, like, in midway through Arc 1?
Yeah, we dropped. Well, we realized we had a serious thing to go, but no, your servants don't have to be mean to it otherwise. Da
I thought it
Vinci
was
is
sort of
because
like,
she's just
because he basically removed his servanthood or something is why, like...
No,
servants-
it's just because it's probably just because he's a comic relief character until we're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, no, it's serious.
Oh, okay, because they always worry
like
with, like,
that-
there's something
it's-
ominous about it.
It's because he's a huge dork that people
Oh,
worry.
okay.
exactly.
He's 100% a comedy character up until London.
He's a
Then
comic
they
character up
start
until
to do
they
the
like.
shift.
Until
Yeah.
they actually, like, try to make him Solomon, yeah.
Well, in London, no, I think they always had that idea, but I think London was where they finally finished ironing out the plot of, like...
Yes, because that's when Solomon actually shows up, and actually we're like, oh no, this is like we hinted that there was something big behind it, but no, we know for sure that Solomon, aka Gautier, is actually the bad guy, and this is his plan, and his plan isn't interrupted until we solve all the Grails. Just busting one Grail won't fix it.
Even though, like, Okeanos to me is where they started getting, like, a hold of their writing, and, like,
Yeah, once they
being
started
strategy,
adding
it
stuff,
still
yeah.
wasn't, like... In the grand scheme of things, Okeanos is not important to the plot.
No,
yeah,
it
like,
just follows the rules better because it establishes that the big bad guy was the one who contracted Medea Lily and set up the whole thing, like, and established all the rules and did the double shim sham and all that. And it has the various act structures that we start to see in later FGO stories with the factions and stuff.
Okeanos is what Okeanos is essentially what Shinjuku is to Shimosa, where it's like Shinjuku sets up all of the ideas of these pseudo singularities, and Shimosa's like kind of the one that does it better because Agartha was.
I still think
yeah,
I still am the opinion Agartha is much better than Shimosa, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it depends if you like weird mixed writing or, like, Japanese sword writing.
And let's face it, if we really wanted to get into this, it could be a whole podcast on its own. But hey,
Yes,
like whenever
I
you're
mean,
ready
right now
to
is
start
about
recording,
time
then
for it to some degree, but we should probably talk about
Yeah,
the
I
game.
think I'll split it because I want to do some post-mortem stuff about just how you guys feel about the playtest and the system. I will close Father Tomas' rules. I just don't know if I'm going to put them in the same audio. We're only at 2 hours. If you guys don't mind sticking around, or if you have to go, you can pop off too. That's okay.
I'm good.
I'm here. I'm having fun.
No, I just want to make sure. We'll leave it at the end. That's the fun bit. So
Probably
this
time code
have
or
the
something.
peanut gallery jump in.
Oh yeah, sure, Loth, you can unmute yourself if you
If you
want.
have
You're
any,
good.
if you have any opinions.
I was just about to ask, can I unmute myself?
Yeah, the session is over. We'll call the session over there, and that's Fuyuki with me. Oh,
Are you Fuyuking with me?
This is kind of a pun.
We have been Fuyuking around a lot.
Yeah, we
We
did
did
that.
the
a lot.
job- we did
That's
the
why
thing
we
where
took
we-
6 sessions.
Actually, I was thinking
It
about, like,
was meant to be
how did
like
we get
2.
6 sessions at the end of this?
I thought it was meant to be one.
I don't know how we could have done it in one, honestly.
I think, I don't know, we got a lot of faffing around and stuff in there. I feel like maybe if there were less people, it could have probably been...
Like 3?
Yeah. It could have been like honestly, it probably could have been 1, but we would have all had to have had a much better grasp of the rules. And you guys would have had to do the dumb thing where you're like, nah, I don't mind. We could fight like 4 servants at once.
I mean, that leads to the first point. Servants were weak.
Well, they also took time.
Enemy servants didn't have enough action economy to actually do anything.
Yeah, I suggest this multiple times off mic, but if it's a situation of 7 of us going against 1 servant, they need an extra health bar, essentially, or otherwise they just get fucked.
I think it's better because it works better.
We could do 7 moves in a row. That was just... Irie stood no chance after her 1 move.
Kind of, but I think it's more depends
yes,
on the
but no. She did have a very firm standoff, and some of that was also because it did get harder for her to activate. By the way, I also did the whole.
I blocked her NP, so
the copy stats thing, so you can see what she's got.
To me, it's like if we were in like FSN format where it's like it's usually 2-on-1 or 1-on-2.
Yeah.
Or it's not
no,
like
this
a whole
was,
team.
Honestly, seeing it as much as I feel like the game system lends itself to kind of casual player small arcs. This is the sort of thing that really works when you have a bigger direction, you have more slow ball narrative change, and it's not necessarily meant to be like, okay, well, I guess you fight a bunch of guys. Because, like, honestly, yes, servants were not, they didn't have enough action economy to do stuff, and some of that was just my own reticence to necessarily deplete the Doom pool at certain times, because I didn't necessarily want to keep hitting people to be like, no, you don't go, I go. Like, Omega tries not to be an asshole as a GM, and I think some of these guys would have been more impressive if they had. And there was some, I think we talked about this, there was some in the earlier sessions, there was some concern about, like, how annoying getting stress would be, right?
I mean,
so
it wasn't that big of a concern.
We figured it all out eventually.
Yeah.
We got smoother.
With the trauma system, we could have taken so many hits.
Yes, exactly. But most people didn't feel like that, though. Like, if you got that, Robin, that was good on you. Like, there were multiple people were like, we didn't quite get that.
It took me a few days. It took me a few sessions.
I think it mostly ended up being a situation of, hey, Master, you have a D4 die by default. These servers get a D12. And like, that's big. That's a big difference. I'm gonna die. I shouldn't let them hit.
I think it's also considered like narratively a servant punching a master, just they die.
There also is that like it makes sense in the system.
And
for
in
them
I think the way the stats are skewed in a one-on-one fight with a physical enemy, it's really interesting how you guys ended up. Like a lot of the times, I think with this many players, we had a diverse enough group where you also managed to hit a lot of their weak points very, very much better. Like in the very first servant fight with Assassin Medea, I had a pretty decent Doom pool. Aelius went and he was like, I'll try to bind her up. And she's just like, no, fuck you. You know, spend a plot point, ignore a magical complication. And then immediately after she'd already been hit with an Oni, we did a 1-2 punch with Penth, and that was it, because actually hardcore physical fighting is not what assassins are good at, but circumstances, you know, and stuff. And that did actually, I don't know if we've talked about it on air, but Vespair's comments did actually, there is a note where, you can, if you need to make a fight last longer for story reasons, you can totally spend Doom Pool dice to reduce the stress they've got. So that makes it even more, you have to deplete the Doom Pool in order for you to, get the servant. I didn't use that a lot in the playtest because of playtest purposes, and depending on when stuff happened, like, it could get really chaotic. Like, that basically, free-for-all last session in session 5 literally turned this into 6 sessions, because it was just so all over the place, where, like, people were like, well, we definitely can't trust Saber Altar not to all blow us up if we just bully Father Tomas, so we gotta, like, split our attention. But that really does show the point that I think, both Robin and Vespairr had, that, like, the action economy gets a little out of control.
I think honestly, it left it where you can do multiple planes of action, honestly, because, like,
yes, that worked a lot better, that was a lot smaller, and if, Herc was pretty resilient, I just let you guys use the plot out I'd already thought of, because it was cool. But the second plane of action, definitely, if that had been allowed to be a real fight, that probably could have been a lot saucier, but, also that would have involved me, once again, being quite rude to Devram, because it would have been like, oh yeah, this guy's bulletproof. And it would just be like, well, that's my whole gimmick, so,
yeah, shrug.
But we would have seen what happened, at least.
Scenes.
Actually, here's a question. Did anyone here get to not get to do a thing they wanted to do with their character? Or just have a thing they made on their sheet they never got to use?
Yeah.
Kinda, but I can just save that for something else.
I was just more curious if there was something.
Yes, there was.
I guess
Devram
we don't
didn't show any mages. It's a shame.
Well, that's because we recruited one, and let's face it, Marie, sure, kind of a star platinum the fuck out of the last one.
Let's see. We have a punch lady. We got a reject mage from the weird faction of the association. We got a magical doctor from Atlas. We have a church member, and we got a hunter.
Yes, a church member. Let's go with that.
A burial agency agent.
Yeah, I'm weird.
Got a golem.
Yeah.
You exist.
Yeah.
You're a Tsukihime character, the finest degree in its life.
No.
Let's. If I may make this, we've got tragic backstory. We've got tragic backstory mage, tragic backstory medic, tragic backstory church member, possibly tragic backstory hunter, and Sela, who's just happy to be here.
It's definitely not a tragic backstory.
No, Stella definitely also.
No, I feel like
I think the joke is that Sela definitely doesn't have a tragic backstory. No.
Sorry, I meant Sela. Blech.
No, that's
Sela. Either way it works.
No, she. But also, my character doesn't have a tragic backstory. Well, that she knows about.
Well, also, I mean, I don't know. Other people, the reader might interpret it as a tragic backstory, as you noted, that you're not, being kind of undead, and made of clay and stuff.
Golem.
I'm a person who died who was bound to a golem.
Cool beans.
That is my story.
That's
cool story,
that's
bro.
like the Tsukihime idea of homunculus, I think.
But yeah, so there's a question of action economy. Again, I think in a fuller, or even if we did some of the more populated singularities, because Fuyuki's weird. In a lot of ways, Fuyuki's weird. I liked it for the simplicity of the setup. My notes are literally 14 pages long. Most of them are servant profiles.
Here's the thing today. Say if we did America, we'd have to plan out our assassination attempt on Meb.
Oh, America.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Or you'd have to actually, negotiate with Edison and or punch Karna to escape.
Avoid coup alter at all costs.
Yes, because I think he'd probably have a special thing where he can just counter you for free.
Well,
if it doesn't kill him or something.
Well, the counter for free is just if he has the other effects. If you have
I don't know if any of his S effects actually involve counter, but yeah, no, it's.
I feel like you can have a thing where it's hitting him hurts you or something.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's actually established.
Pretty sure he just hits people really hard.
Well, no,
I think he just murder punches
you. The thing he's established is if he hits you, you can't heal it under any circumstances.
Yeah, if he actually uses which there
trauma.
Were she didn't get to use it, but Medusa and Lancer had that ability with Harp.
Yeah.
So
And
I have to be every hit is trauma.
Oh no, it would just be the way Harp is written anyway is just that you can only heal the stress or trauma it inflicts naturally, which means you can only wait for it to step down. You cannot use healing rolls or SFX to fix it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you just have to wait to heal naturally.
Also, Coup Alter would have 3 different kinds of invincibility, and it would be terrifying.
With Coup Alter, it's Kudit Konhan is fucking.
It's so broken.
And also, he still has Gay Bolg.
Bullshit.
Yes, and it's even scarier.
Yeah,
well, not really. Gay Bolg's just scary in period, but he actually has it in both forms, so. Because he can always either throw the spear or stab with the spear, but then also he has his weird I am Gay Bolg effect. Anyway, yeah, it would be bad.
Kudit Cullen is basically, he turns into an armor of
the
Gay Bolg.
demonic fish that made Gay Bolg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the bones the fish thing that Gay Bolg is made from. He's just, I am that now. I am Gay Bolg.
Also, since they're back on Coup, he definitely does have swords. I just don't know if they're named. I couldn't find any hard things about a name of a sword, but he definitely uses sword many times. So.
It also turns, when he uses his noble mechanism, it turns both his endurance and his strength into EX rank.
Well, that's just broken.
It doesn't die.
But yeah, so that would and if we were doing a long form campaign in America, that would totally be the thing where I'd be like, okay, you've beat him, he takes a D4 trauma and he fucks off home. Cool.
He's not dead.
We gotta keep going. But that was a lot of stuff where I'm just like, I don't really care. Even though they're full servant profiles, a lot of these guys narratively are mooks. And there were a few times it just was funny because it happened to be that Hoshi managed to knock Darius out immediately, though he did come back for a second round.
Yeah.
But that was meant to be set up to be, that's Darius plus Skeleton Mooks because that's his NP, so I was just like, well, narratively, we can just do this like Extella Link, where just his waves of skeleton soldiers are just on the field, too.
So I
and
had
that kind of
move
worked.
right back.
But it did also just, there was a lot of strong people. And I've done a lot of thinking about the way class balance, quote-unquote, works, and just, depending on what you're playing, it can be very interesting and spicy. You guys did have a couple of very big powerhouses in there, and it was really interesting to see. Even though nobody ran a saber, you guys had a lot of stuff. Whereas, say, in canonical Fuyuki, it was, Oglameri was there, but I don't think she was very helpful. So it was just Master Mash and eventually Ku, right? Like, if we'd actually had the party that small, and that few servants, it wouldn't have been necessarily a good playtest, but the action economy of the 1v1s would have been a lot tighter.
It would have been a reaction cast because you need to seal the NP every time, or for kind of fucks, yeah.
It would have been interesting if we'd actually done the split up for like, okay, like we'll split up into like this group of 3 will go after Lancer, we assume, and this group will go after Assassin or something, and we have the 2 planes of existence for multiple periods of battles against them.
I think we should have probably, if I could do this a second time, probably would have done that sooner and been like, okay, if you're actually going to divide and conquer, actually divide and conquer. Because it not only, like, especially when we do the 2 planes of action thing, which you can easily do with this conflict system, as evidenced by the episode we did that when you simultaneously fought Archer and Berserker, that allows you to get a lot done without necessarily leaving a group of players, like, sitting out for a long time.
Just depends if you have servants or people that can jump between teams.
Mostly.
Well, yeah, that was just...
I mean, there will be things that happen, but for the most part, for the most part, you end up in a situation of 2 comments are going on, and since initiative essentially is just freely passing back and forth, it can be very ping-pongy where we're setting up this one thing over here, and now we set that up. Before we do it, we're going to pass on the other side, so the narrative can have like the back and forth.
Mm-hmm. It depends on the players to actually handle it. So
yeah, it comes down to the players and or the dungeon master or the world.
I will say
keeping a balance on who's going.
My personal thing was also, I think masters can do a little bit too much to servants.
Maybe honestly, some of that was also just your characters were all crazy. Like, you all had D10s and D12s, and almost all of you actually had Magecraft and stuff.
Yeah.
I think for mine, it's like, I just did D8s, but
I think Marie was probably pretty balanced. He did, was your anatomy was a mastery, a D10 die? I think that was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was the worst thing I had, which, I tried to justify as, no, he's a medic, so that would be something that he would have extensive knowledge on.
Yes, so let's...
Unfortunately, this is my problem with making characters. I tend to overly balance them.
Yeah, I think that was it. It was just that everybody started fairly balanced, and then there was a lot of like, oh, maybe I should, after we started sharing characters, a lot of the other players, like I think, Robin, didn't you add a couple of skills to Devram after you saw some of the other character sheets?
I added a weapon, and I stepped up my skill using experience. I didn't do anything out of the system, but I started out much weaker than everybody else.
Okay.
I like when I did character creation where I saw it said pick 3 skills. I'm like, oh, we only have 3 skills. Okay, I picked 3 skills. And I saw everyone had like 10 skills. I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't have just 3 skills. So
That's happened with me too.
I mean, my only D10 was my reinforcement, but I also just had a lot of. I ended up having a couple SFX that let me do fun shit.
I mean, for starting a campaign, I feel like everybody should start out with 3 skills, 2 D6s, and a D8.
Yeah, like we established that, like essentially,
I would say that my campaign rule would probably be hard min 3 skills. You need 3, otherwise you won't ever do fucking anything.
I had 5, but I didn't use 2 of them most of the time.
I would say that at most you can go up to 5, but only if that's like all of them are D6 or something. Yeah. Like if you're playing a very weak if you're playing a skill monkey character who's not powerful.
Magecraft, dagger,
and basically be like, if you add a mastery skill, you better fucking justify it to me. Like you have lots of experience.
Like your Magecraft.
Yeah? What's up, Card?
I was going to say, speaking of that, I actually, for when/if we decide to, do another mod form or try again, I do actually have another version of Marie that I want to share with everybody.
Yeah, okay. I rebuilt my character on day 3, I want to say.
All I did was reshift, and I think I just shifted out.
First of all, are we still on mic?
Yeah, no, we're still gone.
Okay, so
This
spoilers
is the
for the
post-op.
audience and the people. My character was originally supposed to be completely evil. My master character.
Oh.
I mean, to the church. I'm not surprised.
No, she was supposed to basically go along with Father Tomas. But then I changed my mind about halfway through, and I was like, I don't want to play an evil character.
I had no idea you were going for that.
I'll just keep my servant evil.
Classic Dallas.
I can't play evil characters.
You were. I didn't know you were playing an evil character until you said it.
Well, my original build for her, I also nerfed my skills a lot from what they originally were because I went a bit stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I made my character too much of a jack of all trades.
Yeah. And also, like I said, you did a lot of out of research, so you had your fucking spell list basically. Mm-hmm. So which is actually for some reason very diverse, because I bet if I look up like the Type Moon Wiki's article on like necromancy or something, it's gonna list like 3 things that Kairi Shishigo did on screen in Apocrypha, and that's it as an example.
For the church, it's like a 10+ thing.
Well, no. So what I did, oh god, I did so much stuff with this. So basically, a lot of the church stuff I couldn't officially put in because a lot of the executors have really special bullshit weapons that I was not about to use because they're bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like there's a girl who has a shield that can turn into a spear that can one-shot servants, essentially.
Like disrupt their magic core?
It can destroy anything that has magical circuits if it touches it.
What?
It's called the True Apocrypha.
Mm-hmm. What?
A lot of the fucking executors are bullshit.
The Tsukihime branch of the timeline is weird, kids.
Yes. Basically, anything from Tsukihime is just like... So basically what I did was I took all of the stuff they did in the show and took the SFX of it while changing like what it actually did. Because it's like, what does it actually do? Okay, so it actually just kills anything it touches. But what if I made it so it just did like a tiny bit of damage instead, but looked like that?
Fair.
So in other words, what you did was you took a Tsukihime character and then poured them to Fate.
Yes, I nerfed the fuck out of a Tsukihime character, essentially.
Yeah. Because you were like, okay, so the intent of this is to harm somebody, so I'll just use it as an offensive magecraft.
So just to list my skills off, just so like to give a reference, like I have magecraft, I have dagger mastery, then I had mythology and mythical history as the 1d10. Then I had ones that I never actually used, besides like I think once. I had singularity analyst, like social manipulation and mystic contracts. If I did a real character, I'd probably dump the mythology and mythical history and probably skip that and probably like change the bottom 3 to
Omega would
else.
probably be a lot more doubtful about, are you really a dagger master? How old are you?
It's only a D8, so like yeah.
Well, yeah, that's not master.
I have weapon master black keys, which that is a D10.
And honestly, though, for your backstory, that makes sense. You are actually quite old and experienced at black keys.
I have 2 masteries and then 2 D6s is what my character is. I have mastery black keys.
Honestly, so that's another thing that we didn't really explore with masters. We did a little bit with SFX, especially later, but nobody went quite the Bazette or Shiro route where, like, hey, I'm a magus, I also have a Noble Phantasm or Noble Phantasm quality thaumaturgy.
I have one SFX.
I've made this in my off time as like just as like a possible thing for like if I want like Aelius, this would be like the thing he just has. This is just his magecraft.
I also have a technique that my big damage thing is actually something I never got to use because it didn't make any sense because it requires enemies that have skin, and we never fought that.
I mean, servants technically have skin.
But also punching a servant's a bad idea.
Hey, tell it to Sela. She got to do it twice.
Well, okay,
she kicked it.
So the ability requires you to hit a servant, like hit a target twice before you can use it.
Oh, so yeah, that's kind of that would be kind of like a limit SFX of like, you can only do the damage bit if you did the complication bit. Good job.
Well, yeah, how short fights meant I'm never using this.
Yeah, that was a thing. Like I said, the action economy kind of got away, and I tried to move it around a little. And honestly, like in that last one, I really could have because that was literally in my notes of like, oh well, she can summon shadow servants and I could have them, but I was like, no, but I like the level of tension in this scene. I like how the scene is playing out. I don't want to necessarily fuck it up by adding like 5 more initiatives and then you have to bring your servants in. It's just another generic punch up.
No, yeah,
I'll say this. I think some of the fights were kind of long, but I think it's more of like, I just feel like if a fight takes up like 3 hours of the whole session, it's like, I guess to me that's long, but I guess it varies depending to some people.
Mm-hmm. It's fair. And I don't think any of them actually took up 3 hours, but there were a couple back and forth that took a decent chunk.
Like 2.5 sometimes.
I had an issue with Devram where partway through it became very apparent that he was the kind of person who wouldn't let anyone get a Holy Grail, which kind of made what I could do as a player limited.
It's also where it's like, I don't think anyone else here actually wanted the Grail.
Anybody could actually touched it besides Sherlock or Mash. Like, character-wise, I would have been driven to shoot. And that would have wound up in his trauma, I assume, but still.
Well,
It's funny you say that because there was a slight discussion beforehand of like, is Devram gonna shoot someone?
It was entirely possible. It could have happened at the end of the last episode if it wasn't already 3 hours.
I kind of think that if Aelius was not the character that he was, I might have just gone for it just to give you a reason to shoot someone.
You've switched your character from what you originally discussed.
Well, he originally was never like that much of like a thing, but yeah. Or
well, you did try and kind of like talk about him as a backstabber, but again, character drift. Yeah. Like, I think like, the thing we got in was that while Aelius was ambitious, he wasn't actually like, the Grail wasn't the thing he was ambitious about, right? Like, he wasn't...
No, it's about Age of Gods Magecraft.
Yeah, he wasn't actually after, like, the route per se, is he's looking at... Because was kicked out from the Wandering Sea, so it makes sense. No, he's looking for Age of Gods mystics. And like Robin said, you realized that Devram was a lot more lawful type than you thought he would. He was a lot more set in his code.
Yeah. If the big reason Devram would have shot is because your one distinction, survivor of 3 families or whatever.
The bastard heir of 3 dead families, yeah.
Yeah, that shit doesn't happen in real life. Like, that kind of coincidence. 3 mage families just happened to kill themselves with their own magic and give all their crests to you. He would have killed you.
Two of them were gone because they cursed him with it because it was like a fuck you kind of thing, but yeah.
Well, this is also, I don't think, a thing that you've told people, so... We would know about your 3 crests, but we wouldn't know the story because you had never divulged.
Well, and that was another thing that I think just in general was just because, one, there were so many fights, and also because everybody was, like, really, really evolving their characters, like, constantly. Like, I think, with the exception of Sela, who already had a backstory that just never came up, I think, honestly, and who knows, maybe you adjusted some other stuff, too, thinking about it, but I think, like, all of you evolved as your player characters as we played the game and as we took many, many hours, and... There was a lot of role-playing, but there wasn't a lot of, like, deep character role-playing. It was just, like, usually it was just, like, tension breaks between, okay, we just had a big action scene, or last time we had an action scene, let's just chill out, relax a little, we'll prep a little, we'll hang out with Mash, maybe we'll do a funny voice. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Party dialogue.
The problem was, and I think it's similar to probably what Vespairr experienced, is like, yeah, I had a backstory, but, like, there wasn't a reason for it to come up.
Yeah, and I mean, it would just feel a bit... self-divulgent to suddenly go into like a personal spiel about my character's going to talk about our backstory, even though it really makes no sense for this point.
Yeah, that would be the very corny visual novel dialogue thing to be like, yes, let me monologue about my character for several pages.
I gave Vespairr a prompt because it's like I felt that was kind of the tone we had at times, but
no, I mean, fair. Yeah, but it just didn't feel right for the scenes.
I will say that, like, if we ever had that, I feel like I could have fun just actually trying to, like, explain the story to someone else.
Yeah, if we ever got a full campaign, I would probably explain my backstory, but I'm kind of good with it just being up to what people think it is.
I kind of left, like, holes in mine, because it's like, it's more just like, things happened, but the connecting pieces, I haven't said anything.
Mm.
Wow.
The character note for Devram, his backstory doesn't matter. He does what he does because he believes it's right.
Wait, am I the only one that actually had a clear and concise backstory from day one and it never really drifted?
My backstory didn't drift, my alignment did.
His backstory didn't drift.
Yeah.
Celas didn't really drift, neither. No.
I don't think the backstory necessarily changed much, other than that people's characterization changed, right?
Yeah, I think Marie's the only one that actually remained, from session 1 to now. Just, the guy who's here, always willing to kill somebody, making sure that everyone's, healed up, because how many times, and just, exacerbated when anyone, gets hurt, because I'm sorry, how many bullets have I need to pick out, out of this group?
More than a handful.
2.
Mostly Devram's own bullets.
No, I got shot a lot by that one servant.
Yeah, Emmy Alter because he was, I did his Guns Akimbo SFX where he just went apeshit firing guns at everybody. He did plug several people a couple of times.
Is Emmy Alter also in a Gimbo?
I guess, yeah, he has 2 guns.
I can't wait to get my character sheet over to Omega and just have Devram show up and fuck everything up at some point.
He somehow has origin bullets because he stole them.
I think I'm gonna
No, I think they would die.
Silencing magic, just walking down the field.
Oh wait, no, your bullets are silenced, so no one can ever hear them.
Devram would basically be the puzzle boss. It would be like one of you would take a bullet in the shoulder, because Omega would probably deliberately lowball the first shot just for drama.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be honest, there were only a couple of times where I deliberately was like, okay, the game says I need to roll the Doom Pool now or whatever. I'm going to pick low dice and not give a fuck. Because I want you guys to feel like you're rolling your pools, right? That's cool, but also I don't actually care if you win.
Action.
But most of the time, you guys were, a lot of the time, going whole hog, going all out, using all your stuff, and it was like, okay, I'm not necessarily concerned about necessarily winning, but I don't want you to just completely overrun, so I want to at least give it the old college try. Yeah. And that's kind of like a couple of times that happened with the Black Grail fight, where I was like, okay, I'll give it my good old college try, and then it was like, do I really want to invest resources? And honestly, that's usually why the servants didn't stick around as long, because there was a lot of question as me of being like, I don't know, did you guys, I know that in a greater meta context, you guys are like, okay, the fights went a little fast, but did you guys truly want some of those fights to go on longer?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but maybe like early on if we were better at it, maybe.
I just didn't want it to be so easy, because, again, during that Arya fight, if I had spent, like, my plot points and I had 1 billion of them, I could have killed her. You wouldn't have been able to stop me with your dice roll. Cool.
I think my big
that's also definitely an issue, just like building a lot of plot points and stuff. I feel like in a long-term campaign that also probably wouldn't happen as much, because you guys would not just go...
too many points. There were way too many plot points in the pool. Like, I know for a fact, Dallas, how many did you have before
you guys had too many plot points, but I also know there were a lot of, like, Card literally had his 1 and he spent it. Like, there were a lot of other characters who didn't have a lot of plot points.
So right now I have 7, and at one point I had 12.
Yep. I have 6, and the highest I got was 9.
Like, well, I think but also, like a game thing for
Dallas was getting plot points because he was rolling 1s constantly. That is very true. It wasn't much that Dallas was like gaming the system. He just had shit luck and kept rolling 1, so Omega just like, I take a plot point, that's fine.
I mean, and that's the point, right? The point is that you rolled a shitload of 1s. Well, I'm going to make the Doom Pool very scary now, and
it's like in Dungeon World, when you fail, you get experience.
Well, it's my tableside luck. It's like when I'm playing on the side of the DM or the side of the villain. Honestly, I have really good luck. And then when I'm on the side of a player, it's like, critical fail, critical fumble, like, you lose.
And if I may just, play devil's advocate here, it's kind of the difference between, someone playing a kind of combat support focused character compared to, the pure support that was me. Sure, I got in, like, a couple of good hits, but otherwise, I was just in the back, anyone need a heal?
Yeah.
Marie got in more hits than Devram.
I think Marie got more actual hits in than I did, because most of my character's focus is putting conditions on things.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you blew up a lot of skeletons and stuff in the first session. You did do pretty decent at that.
But they were also undead, which was what he was designed to kill. Aside from that,
but yes, it's still you did a decent score on that. But yeah, no. Your servant was a lot killier than you were.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Plus,
honestly, I will have to avoid, like, if we ever do a full campaign, I might have to ask Omega for, like, possibly a 1 reroll clause, because if I get a support servant with this master, I'm just boned.
Well, then don't pick up. Well, okay.
I think it's so you can pick a class that's actually like.
Well, that's why I would pick either a knight class or a rider, because it's like those are the least chance for a support servant.
Maybe not rider. Yeah. It depends. Riders are seem pretty split between the stuff.
Riders are very all over the place.
I'm just thinking of, not Rider. My brain died. Berserker.
Yes, Berserker. That's unless you get Nightingale, and even then, Nightingale can still just manhandle.
Nightingale can still do the whole. Hey, I have a fist. This bed I picked up is going.
Well, yeah, literally, her gun is on her armor. Is on her tools and armament. She can just shoot people.
And
I will not put the gun away.
And I don't know how this would actually work in a game sense, but there's the fact where she gets a grenade, runs up at you, and explodes it in her fist to hurt you.
Because the thing is, fine. The thing I'm taking off of Celeste, because, for one, it's a double up, and I don't really think we need to do that, is most of her martial arts stuff. Because I never really used it much, and I prefer being just the pure, like, I'm going to inflict this condition on this, or inflict this
being
a
magecraft, like, debuffer type.
Yeah, a support, but not a healer. Mm-hmm. Like the buffer debuffer. Kind of a bard. Yeah. But I don't want to die, so I'm not calling myself a bard.
Well, and also, you would probably still keep your black keys as a tool in your black key throwing skill, but that's also still just throwing projectiles.
Well, yeah.
Which, again, depending on what servants the enemy has, could be... Like, that was an interesting thing.
But most of my black key stuff is not actual damage.
It is...
Like,
yeah,
the thing I chose instead of my mystic codes is not the Excarnation rites specifically, but is the sacrificial rites, which are basically like, it makes your magic keys do things when they hit people, but none of them are actual damage. It's like, inflict this complication or that complication.
Mm-hmm. I grew to the end where it's like, I was better. It's like, I'm just going to make assets because I felt better. It's like, it's more consistent for me just to make it where everyone else gets to do a thing.
I also want to change my experience because I think my old bar fit more of the villain I was going for.
No, that's fair. Milestones are very tricky, and if we were sitting down with a campaign, that would very much be I would like sit with you and work with you to make two, and be on call to provide a lot of examples from
I would
either my own thoughts or the other examples. Because
I would probably put creation, like make like an asset, that like creates it like sets like turns the tables in the fight as like my per scene one as my three experience.
But also like creating asset that turns the tables is a bit too subjective.
Well, also, honestly, I would. It makes sense for some of them because some of the ones from the Marvel RPG this is based on do actually draw on mechanical stuff. Like, I think Wolverine, for instance, that's his 3 XP is to like inflict trauma on an enemy, like because he's Wolverine, and what he does isn't very nice. Which I believe what Vespairr is going to say is that's something Sela's maybe going to do.
Yeah, I posted it I think before we started, but this is like the rough concept. Like this is probably not going to what it end up being because it's dumb. But
yes. Also, one of my skills I don't even really count as a skill because it's so useless, but I just have it in for character flavor, even though it's a D8.
What is it?
Skills of Motherhood.
In a longer campaign, it actually would probably come up if like we had like, social skills as a thing.
No, that's not what it means. It's like cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry.
Yeah, honestly, you should probably just drop that, and it won't matter if you're like.
Probably put it as a narrative thing to have on your like backstory.
That would be a good
distinction. Maybe.
Distinction to like or a.
Can you have more than 3 distinctions?
No.
Okay.
But you can be more broad with your distinctions. Like honestly, they should be kind of flexible if you can swing it.
I mean, like I have with them. How many times was I able to use medic with Marie when I was just going for the punch thing?
Almost everything. Because
well, you can. There's a lot of wiggle room to justify.
Mm-hmm. Like where to hurt.
So my new distinctions are church executor because it's my whole character concept. Apocryphal abomination because that's also my whole character concept, and then mother of Chaldea.
Yeah. Well, you'd probably switch that to something else if you were doing it. But let's see. So, for example, I just randomly scrolled to a page. It's the page I've gotten in the actual Marvel RPG is Storm, as in the mutant Storm, that lady. Her distinctions are claustrophobic, mercurial, and strong-willed leader. So, very open-ended.
Oh yeah, you could always make like a negative thing to always apply.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's what Apocryphal Abomination is.
I mean, it also works for you where like, or when you're defending, where it's like, oh, my body doesn't break normally.
And then her milestones are, the first one is called My Place in the World, and I guess this is a Storm thing. But it's 1 XP when you aid a hero for the first time, so that's kind of limited, but 3 XP is when you either ask to join a new team or turn down an offer to join one, There's a lot of team stuff in the
It
Marvel
probably
thing.
comes up in Marvel a lot more because she's also an
Yes.
X-Men. So,
and then 10 XP when either you accept leadership of a team or you leave your current team. So, like, some of them are pretty open-ended like that. Her second one's probably better, because the way this is supposed to be is you have 2 and you could swap one out for the story ones, but I didn't go that whole hog on it because first time playtest.
yeah.
Would an appropriate 10 XP be taking a trauma in defense of an ally?
That's probably better as a 3, because you can do it once per scene. Like, the 10 is supposed to be once per story, and then when you take your 10 XP, you can choose to cash out the milestone and write a new one. Your story arc is done.
Okay.
Does taking
I'm
a big blow for somebody count? Like,
Well, yeah, because I'm just trying to think of one for my character concept.
I think I could make one
For, like,
Aelius.
defensive.
So, okay, well, so here's an interesting one. So, Storm has a power set where one of her abilities is to add her current emotional stress to the Doom pool to use her emotional stress die in a pool, which is a good one I need to steal for some
It's like Rage.
phantasms. It's not quite like Rage because it's not a step up. It's if you have emotional stress, you can turn it into that, and she can also do a limit to turn her any complication, turn a power die into a complication, but to recover her emotional stress, for instance. Some other fun stuff. But the first time she does that in a scene is 1 XP. When she activates the limit that I just described is another one, and then the 10 XP is when you apologize to injuring a team with your powers, or you leave the battlefield rather than apologize. So, like, when you accidentally hit people or something. I don't really know how you ever actually injure a team member. I guess if you use it to try and heal.
Or like,
could be
does it
narrative.
indiscriminate anywhere?
No, I made up indiscriminate. That's not anywhere in the
Oh.
Marvel RPG. That's something I invented because it makes sense for Noble Phantasms.
Then I think I have a good idea of one. Basically, if I activate my quote unquote mystic code, basically if my character dies, because that's the only way to activate it is if I activate it's what did I call it? Unholy bindings of Lazarus.
Actually, yeah, so I was just scrolling down. Thing is next in the one, and let me read his milestones to you, one of them, because I think they really sound like what you're doing. So, at 1 XP when you first use your powers to give support asset to an ally. 3 XP when you either take trauma to save a non-combatant or commit an opponent to attack you rather than a non-combatant. And then 10 XP when you either sacrifice yourself for your allies or fight until you're the last hero to fall. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of like opportunities for that kind of stuff, and it's your whole, pair up stuff. But yeah, that's milestones.
on the topic of that, I just get to give one for like 10 XP where it's like add something new to to your magecraft, or discard the knowledge for the sake of others.
Yeah, probably that would be a good one. That kind of fits the theme.
I can I could cut this guy's hand off and take his crest, add it to mine. I could also nod and do something better.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, the mostly one is just you guys conflated, and maybe that's like just how people think about EXP. Maybe I didn't go hard enough on this stuff, but a lot of people did seem to conflate 10 XP with, I beat something very powerful. That's definitely what they're meant to be. I think there are probably a couple where it's like, I don't know, there's probably some guy who's got like a huge rogues gallery who's probably like, 10 XP to put away an old foe.
Like
Or
Spider-Man.
to decide, or possibly the reverse is to let him go, to decide that he's not my enemy anymore. That's probably Spider-Man, actually.
Well,
I think.
my original, the problem was I based my original milestone off of my original character concept, which changed.
Yeah.
Because my original was basically kill a mage worthy of a ceiling distinction. Like, no, you're not. I'm talking about someone who's like either so like fucked up that they pissed everyone off and are just like creating dead apostle things everywhere, or someone who has such a dangerous power set that they're just a danger to everything around.
It works in a longer
Yeah,
term.
nobody really. It's interesting. Out of the ones I suggested, nobody really took the really more complex ones.
I took because it's more of like, because I knew it was going to be just us and basically a pseudo gauntlet of fights, so maybe that's what shaped it a little bit.
But because you took Singularity F Flame City Fuyuki, which is about figuring out the stuff.
I'd have to go for the truth, so I would have had.
Yeah, you would have cashed out for 10.
I would have had like 14 extra.
I had the Chaldea one, which I would have gotten a 10 as well, but it was in the story and there was no need for it.
Alright, so Ku Alter is broken as shit.
Many servants are.
No. Have you read his ability Madness of the Elementals, what it actually does?
It makes shit mad.
No, every servant in the area that is in his enemy ranks down their strength and agility. And that's just passively happening.
That makes him actually a good boss monster, I guess.
But yeah, so this were the three that I don't think anybody picked ever.
Well, I'm gonna steal that second one right now.
Oh, okay.
I was considering that one, but I didn't know actually how I would do it.
Well, I mean,
I probably should have taken the last one.
When I wrote this, it was shortly after, because it was several months ago. This was while Lost Belt 1 was still fresh in everybody's mind when I started working on a lot of these ideas. So I was very much inspired by the way Kadok acts to be like...
Yeah, no,
that's a perfect one for this.
The Chaldean, I think Mashi would probably have the Master and Servant.
I'm stealing the 10 for Master and Servant for mine.
No, that's a good one.
That's perfect.
Because that was the Master and Servant is meant to be like you're building a relationship, but we ended up being a little more... one, servants didn't necessarily get as role-played as they could have. That was another thing that, again, because of time stuff, we didn't super get into. We managed to get a little bit, I think you got a sense of everybody's relationship with their servants, but it wasn't super great. But that's, again, a further campaign thing. But that's supposed to be, when I wrote that, was supposed to be like, okay, this is about those characters who have weird stuff, dealing with servants, right? Like, how do I work with my servant to do stuff? Because there are a lot of characters who have that back and forth. And the question would be, would you actually sacrifice your servant?
All right. I know we weren't trying to get rules lawyery there, but the teamwork things, those were real extra fluid during combat.
That got a little bouncy. I would probably try and lock that down a little bit better in the future.
I think where at the start of a round, everybody declares their teamwork, so we actually have.
No, I mean that's not how it's supposed to be, though. Like I said, it literally changes moment to moment because beat to beat. You can start out lone wolf, and then when somebody sees that you're going lone wolf, they can be like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna team up now. Now I'm gonna be a pair." But that should be an actual discussion of like, are we actually pairing up? It should be more clear, and I might have to put some restrictions on how you relate to servants or more examples. Like,
I wonder if you could make like a fourth one, which is just if you're paired with your servant or...
No, that would probably be too complex.
Right.
And it would be different dice types, especially because NPCs have step-down ones, so it gets a little weird. Like, the idea is that you don't go up to D12, but some NPCs who are minor only have teamwork's dice types at like D4, D6, and D8, so if we made it a step down, that would mean that, like, do they just not have a teamwork? It would... I think would kind of put a weight on the system. More is just probably there needs to be more examples of like, okay, no, when you declare you're with your servant with a teamwork, you're with your servant in a teamwork, and then when the next person goes and they're like, hey, are we a team? Am I a team with your servants? Then it's like, okay, we're a team now, and we're locked into kind of our narrative until the next person goes and they're like, okay, I can join in the team, or I can go lone wolf, but maybe it's hard to do pair on my own with those guys because they're already a team, right? And we had some more discussion about this, I think, when the game started. But I think Robin was right, we did get a little loosey-goosey. I don't think technically changing the core conceit of, like, at the start of the round, you declare it. It's just, the declaration is when you start your action. You're declaring, okay, I am a pair because I'm trying to work with my servant. Or I'm a pair because I'm trying to do a cool teamwork thing with Sela. We're gonna punch him, yay.
Yeah, because with
how
I designed Sela, with how I designed Sela, she has her lowest teamwork dice is the team, and so like I never wanted to do the full team thing, but I only ended up doing once when Ku gave everyone the support buff, which meant I had to go team because everyone was using it.
Yeah,
but for the most part, I was always trying to do lone wolf or pair with somebody because the pair is where I put my strongest dice, because for the whole context of like she's a brawler, like flanking with one person is where she excels. She's not good in a full on ballroom blitz kind of fuckery.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm just thinking about stuff.
Sorry.
There's go ahead.
I guess I can explain why I had him read about teamwork as he's very bad as a lone wolf. He's decent pair, and he's really good, in a full team. But, that makes sense. Like the squishy medic, who turned out to be not so squishy. On his own, it's probably not do that good with someone. A bit better, but he's got the full team back him. Yeah, he could probably do some interesting stuff.
Yeah, I was in a similar conceit, except a little bit reversed with pair up being my biggest, then team, then Lone Wolf, because traditionally, apart from Mr. Edgy Priest himself, executors are supposed to work in pairs.
Mm-hmm.
Even though most of the known ones don't because they're so OP.
Yeah, and honestly, that's an interesting discussion to get into, because, Sela is arguably built better in for a, free-for-all Grail War. You're best at pair, or Lone Wolf. Are you better at pair than Lone Wolf?
Yes, pair is my D10.
Okay. And so, in some situations, you would go, oh, I'm obviously going to put my best dice in pair. I'm going to work with my servant the closest. But for a lot of my setups that were meant to be team-based, then you got to consider yourself, oh, okay, are we actually best suited where we're actually relying on others, or do you occasionally either have to take a worse die or have to forgo teamwork benefits to actually use more stuff? I think it mostly just got clustery when we had a lot of assets flying around, but I think generally people who were using assets were actually declaring team. When Aelius used all the extra shit to not get cursed, I believe you were using team, right?
I was using paired of coup.
Actually, no, you probably should use team.
I was using two to get. I was using Mashu. I was using the buff like Mashu, and then used one of two.
I felt like you used team.
I think I used because I think I was using Mashu's buff. I was using the buffs from
yeah, well, because if you use more than one character's buffs, you had to have been team.
Yeah, I was using the one.
I would assume, because Axe is usually pretty good about following the rules as written, that he was using the correct dice. So I think we used it that way.
I have to write the flavor for it, but I think this is what I have for a thing.
Okay. Well, we're still recording the post-op. We can wind down, though. Does anybody have any more thoughts about the game and stuff? We kind of talked about some things.
Try not to double up the two smart people. I think that's literally the thing that while it was interesting, I had Sherlock, and he kind of made us one shot him Herc. Never want to do that again. Not that I don't like the whole Watson sort of vibe, Murray and Sherlock had with each other. Just, let's not have that happen in the future because, ugh.
Yeah, you probably would have been better with, not that that wouldn't have caused other problems, but with, well, he didn't exist at the time, but with, a Babbage or, a Paracelsus type, where, they're not idiots, but they're either have much more direct overlap, where, oh no, you and Paracelsus just team up to do healing stuff, but also he can, do big blasts and stuff. Or Babbage can do item creation, but his big thing is just also I'm just going to make it steamy and I'm going to smash stuff. Whereas the thing with Holmes was, Holmes could be a beater, and you used him very effectively at that, but there was a lot of, out of character was just Holmes just chills and he notices stuff. That's what he's good at. He plans. I also plan. I guess I plan with myself. That does seem to be a thing I want to focus on, is that, to do servant rotation, I think, and this is advice for people listening at home if you're going to use this homebrew, because you can. The documents are all in the description of the video.
I plan on.
But the thing would be to, as the GM or as the players, definitely narrow your focus down. And I think what I would do is I would, when you guys actually, when we get to the point where we're ready to do another campaign, because I do want to do a full campaign of this, just because I like Fate and I like how this system works in Basic and how I've kind of hammered this system to work for Fate. Bent it into some new shapes.
As much as I did critique, I did enjoy myself immensely.
Yeah, I think we had fun. There's just
the system as a whole is great. We just had some problems of not fully grasping the system's mechanics, and the nature of stress is actually not that terrible. We were just it was more the preconceived notion of we are human. Servant is big, strong. He will.
Yeah, I think we ended up again I did not necessarily go hard enough because I didn't want to kill the dramatic tension of nah, it's fine if maybe not if you're a servant because if it had rules, but if Medea had just clubbed one of the masters with Rule Breaker, you'd be fine. You just take a small amount of stress because it's just a dumb knife and you'd be fine. You'd just get a flesh wound,
Here's the final version of that.
But
I would have exploded.
Yeah, well, that would have been fun stuff.
Also,
that would have been like Dallas quietly tells me, "Oh no, she should totally add that D8 and step up her stress for me. I'm made of magic." Ooh.
Also, the thing of if Father Tomas got his thing broken, we all just have to fight him now.
If she hit me with Heartbreaker, that would have sucked. If she hit me with Rule Breaker, I just would have died instantly.
I meant if she stabbing Father Tomas. If you actually got through.
She was stabbing Father Tomas too. Because he is made of magic to basically try and sever his spirit core. She was trying to go for the old one-hit kill, but he
I thought it was more of
was a really tanky bastard. No, she was trying to inflict physical stress.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't Rule Breaker automatically break contract?
No, it has to be used that way. She has to
Oh,
know.
okay.
She has to know about the magecraft and intend to use it that way to cut it.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
But it also just makes a really gnarly knife to cut magic people.
It does just pierce like things, and it feels like a cell phone it feels like a cell phone that's on when it's in your wound, because that's how this hero described it when he got stabbed with it.
Ow. Ugh.
Anyway,
But yeah, I was saying about servant selection is, nobody really went super full random, but even if you guys lock in your classes and go full random or whatever, it wouldn't probably be truly full random because I would probably curate because the library is growing all the time and I feel like it will continue to grow over time. I would probably curate servants, either I would cut out the ones that don't make sense, like I've said, like, we're gonna throw out all direct references to Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero. So no Gilgameshes, no Lancelots, no Artorias.
Oh, no, that's not... Aw.
No, fuck no. Lancelot's really OP.
Fair.
yeah, he is.
He's got 3 D12 skills and like
I was
4
thinking Saber
D12 Noble
Lancelot, not like
Phantasms.
Berserker Lancelot, yeah, fair.
The problem is that being a Berserker actually hinders him. Because
Yes.
it like makes it so you can't use half his skills and also
That's most
means
of the
they
case, like
get
what
to use
I
magic
also did.
resist to get them, but holy shit.
Like, I tried that with, like, Peth, where it's like, oh, Berserker was actually holding her down.
No cats, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably call out Cats just because if you... This would be a real Holy Grail war, so if you actually used her Sunstone Noble
You would
Phantasm,
die?
you'd just... you'd obliterate
You'd
the
win.
city, so it would just be like, no, that's not gonna fly.
But
That's
like
just
I
too
said,
much narrative power.
It's like, if cats was gotten by an evil master, they would just win. Because it's just like,
No, but Cats would kill them.
No, because Kets is lawful good. She'd probably like, because she has high magic resistance and Divine Core. She would probably just like eat their fucking heart or something. But
that's probably true.
It's
So
Sounds
she would
like the
challenge him
killers
to, like, a
would
wrestling
stand
match
on
and
the
then kill them.
but yeah, so we'd probably cut out some of the higher level divinities with some of the really freaky powers. Like
Melt.
Maybe
no,
Lancer Melt because she is somehow shockingly way more balanced that way. But I'd have to like look at all the classes. I might cut out Arjuna just because he's
that one skill.
Achilles and Carter.
well, he's got his skill and also he's got.
Hero of the Endowed is just so
What about Berserker Carter?
generically busted. It's just like good things happen.
Hey, I have a
it's
D12 that I can
generic
roll for everything, and also it's basically he gets to double his D12 luck. He just gets to do that all the time.
I also maybe can, like, spend... I guess it's like, you'd have to, like, you run out plot points with him all the time, but...
Is there a chance of me getting Qixi Huang?
No, probably
I
not.
think
I'm
it's
going
on
to probably
Rulers.
lock into the core 7 classes.
Oh.
No extras.
Qixi Huang is
Yeah,
so
I'll say-
silly.
No Crim Hill,
I will-
sadly.
If I can, say this,
Mhm.
I think something that really sort of tipped it, if like, it just sort of I think we're a bit overpowered, is that we had, the alter ego, and Father Tomas. Well, Father Tomas was definitely a good,
shit.
She helped at times, but it was like, she just... she was
But
just like a
Okita,
saver.
like, some of that was just because you ended up rolling shitty. Like,
I
Okita
rolled
has
the
some very
worst
big
dice out of
pools.
the group. Dallas is joking about being bad
Oh, no.
rolling, but goddamn,
No.
I rolled like ass every single.
He
Yeah,
told us
like,
once.
Robin had the actual worst rolls because he was never rolling ones to get plot points. He was just rolling
No.
bad.
I
Now
got
it's
a
roll-
roll with like the roll where I had like 4 12s, 10 and 8. I rolled 2 2s, 4 3s, I think, or something.
Yes,
when
you
I
were
said
just
I had-
cursed.
When I said I didn't mean I have the worst rolls overall, because I do agree that was you. I just meant I had the worst individual roll, because there was a roll I had that had 5 1s and 3 2s. And I was just like,
That was 12 dice, though.
Oh, why does Valkyrie need Aurora Steel?
Card.
Oh my god. Oh
Yeah,
god.
it's fun
Oh.
Valkyries. Anyway,
Yeah.
Card,
If
yes, you
I-
were saying about the
yeah,
OP
I was
stuff.
like, it's like I was trying to say, and while Father Tomas was interesting as a very hateable character, I'm sorry, Del, but he was fucking just overcomplicated.
He was a pain in the ass to deal with. I'm kind of glad that you guys were all okay with him not showing back up.
Yeah.
Even
Oh
though he
yeah,
had
and
less shit on his
the
character
version,
sheet.
the version I sent to Omega is him after using all of his bullshit.
I was
He
just
is
like,
overtuned.
kind of hope he doesn't.
He's not overtuned. It's just
No,
he's like
what he did to fucking Emiya Alter, that's overtuned.
Well, to be fair, I also spent 3.
He spent,
plot
like,
points
all of his
in that
shit to
roll.
do it.
Yeah, but no, it's and that's why I'm like definitely for real Grail War, we're gonna follow the for real Grail War. Well, some of the for real Grail War rules. Grail War, blah.
It's a 3 on
And just
team
be
fight.
like, yeah, no extra class, just because they are really bullshit.
It's a good
Yeah,
thing goes
that's
to
really
Alter's
soft.
favor.
I mean, you could technically get her.
I would
You could get her
argue-
version of Saber.
I would argue we got the two least bullshit extra classes, and that's saying something. Well, actually, Alter Ego.
No. Okitan is just the least bullshit alter ego.
That's more what I
just
meant.
to go to good servant. Yeah.
Like Alter Ego is the most busted class, but you got the least busted Alter Ego.
And honestly, I don't think alter egos necessarily are busted. It's just because FGO uses that for high servants, who are the most bullshit.
And beasts.
Well, that's true, but also, but no, seriously, like, I as a thought experiment, I statted Vanilla Melt, who, by the way, to go back to our, I think that was off-mic discussion about alignments, she is canonically lawful good, somehow. Don't ask me about that.
Yeah.
But Melt has an EX NP, she has an A+ agility, her strength is only a D4, but still,
you're using agility for all of her attacks anyway.
Probably. She has a D12 independent action, and also a B rank magic resistance and riding, so she has really high class skills that she can use almost all the time with everything.
So that's a minimum, like, 2d12 and a d10?
Also,
like 3d12?
has a tool.
Also, yeah, she has a tool she can always use. And then her crime ballet skill is just, hey, I turned ballet into fighting, so she has a rank skill that is just her combat style. She so has her high servant and her divine core is just kind of passive skills, but they exist, so you can use them to farm PP or to just, actually use them to do stuff.
So, minimum 5 dice for every combat action she does?
Well, probably she'd be able to justify all of her traits, yes. You have to spend... Yeah. That is a thing that was a little fuzzy that I had to keep reminding people. If it's in the same trait category, you have to spend plot points to do multiples, unless it's, like, multi-power or something.
I mean, Primal, the legs,
I will say that might be one of the reasons Father Tomas seems so overpowered, because I did not know that.
Yeah, I kind of caught you to that, I think, in some of the later sessions, to be like, no, you're supposed to, if you're bringing in multiple skills, remember to spend those plot points. But at that point, you had already rolled several pools filled with ones, and you had all the plot points you needed.
Yes.
But to go back to Melt, then her final two actual skills are Sadistic Constitution A. So, while she can turn that into a complication, she can also just be more aggressive. And then Melt Virus as an EX rank skill, which is just crazy.
So.
Yes,
all right, did you want me to send you my character sheet?
Yeah, sure. Beam that to me in some form, because I'll jot it down. And also, maybe you guys can... Those of you who created original servants, I already got Tomas, maybe get those to me in other forms, because I might add them to the library.
You could probably move her around and stuff a little bit.
I actually think that's a good thing for Tomas, because I think I did overtune him. So I think having him at this lower level of power is kind of...
He just has the thing, and he has the big nuke MP, but he can do it once.
Well, no, he doesn't have the big nuke MP anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has a couple of different stuff, but
I guess the hammer and the army, and I guess
he has the big fuck you MP, but
that also has certain restrictions.
Oh, just the chains, yeah.
He doesn't have the one where he can create the soldiers that explode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was just while that was a cool sort of cinematic thing, that was kind of bullshit.
Yeah, he also had an army NP, and all that stuff. And I think there's some stuff in there.
I bet it's just the last question.
Yeah.
What do you think of the milestone I've done?
Sorry, hold on. Discord is like, do you want to click this link?
All Pence did was one-shot things.
I just hit things because I had a good strength stat and a spear.
Well, it wasn't even one-shot. She was like, she was the cleanup, because she ended up having to deal with
everybody.
Once
the thing was that you guys had a lot of D12s that were just like, I don't know if it was deliberate as this, but it was like, oh, well, D12's the biggest die, so I'll give them that stress. And then it was
That's what I kept thinking, because it's like, I was thinking it like as a help scaling, like I was going to do D12 damage, but not really. But
no, because then once you're at D12, that's as high as the zone goes. So once you go over there, it's over. So it was
I would have started doing like D10s and D8s, honestly, if that was the case.
Same.
Yeah. But you asked me about your milestone, right?
What?
That first one's a little well, okay. A lot of those are very ambiguous.
It's because I have if you go up earlier, there's actual very specific uses for them.
Yeah, I guess maybe that first one, that 3 XP, I think is still a little. I think we said that before. The create an asset worthy. That's very flexible.
That's up to the world.
You might want to figure out some better way to phrase that. But this is in general. This is a good outline and could probably use some drilling down to make sure you actually hit them. I think that's the thing with EXP again, is that in some cases maybe some of you had some EXPs that were very easy to hit, and some of you had them that were not easy to hit, so the idea is to hit it so where it's not like... That's why I for Vespairr, I suggested that like the trauma, the stress thing, it should be like the first time in a scene. Because I don't want it to be that like you fight like 5 guys who are just normal guys, right? Like they send vanilla thugs after you and they're like, oh, I have to do a D10 stressor better to take them all out. Suddenly I have 5 XP, because I can do it as many times as I like.
Actually, would everyone be better, use your knowledge of the divine for the sake of others?
Anyway.
Yeah, maybe. But I think we're wrapping up the recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, real quick.
You can end the recording, sorry.
Oh, okay. So I'll just wrap up here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave any comments you guys have about the overall campaign in the comments of this if it's on YouTube. Don't forget to do the whole like and subscribe thing, hit notifications, and we'll see you in future for more stuff. Also, check out the Clone Wars APs. Otherwise you'll make Lucky sad. You don't want to make Lucky sad. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.